to distribute to your correct voice
For some reason I didn't spawn.
And there we go. Oh shit, the event has already started. Okay, well we got Bloodbath versus the second here. A lot of grenade spam going out right away as we have a massive rush for the center. Germans already setting up a solid defense on the right side of their little base here. Got guys going up onto the catwalks over here. Going to be controlled by the Russians so far. Oh, we have an initial grenade charge by the second, sending suicide naders across to try and get more points for their team. A lot of explosives being sent out here as it is an absolute dynamite affair so far. A cluster of Germans there, including Smoke Prophet, getting blown up. Lonely Rose surviving that somehow. The TL at the moment. Or no, I guess not a TL, one's TL. Anyways, Lonely Rose surviving, getting shot though. An absolute madhouse right now in this small factory, being controlled by being contested by both the Russians and the Germans. We have players from both teams on either side. The confusion making it impossible to tell in the moment who is who and where. Oh, this is madness. Yeah, I'm going right now. I might want to leave the Discord at the moment.
Like banner and media.
It's already in media, yeah.
Alright, thank you very much.
Alright, what the fuck is this clusterfuck? This is the deciding match of the Battle of the Volga event between the 2nd Ranger Battalion clan and the Bloodbath Community group on Red Orchestra 2. This is deciding who will play what faction in the coming event. And so far, the Axis, Bloodbath, is leading 52-41. Bloodbath does have control of the Germans, and second has control of the Russians right here. Have another charge from the top of the catwalks. First Sergeant Budge gets blown up, detonated by a suicide grenade. Both sides heavily contesting those catwalks as the central entryway to both of those areas, the main kind of battlegrounds for both sides, is just an absolute grenade hellhole. Explosives flying through every second, and there we go, match 1. So Bloodbath is going to win this initial match.
So we have one more practice round.
Alright.
Went from most dishonorable to
Now, quick question. What is this in terms of, like, is this deciding who's what faction, or is this just bullshitting around?
Correct. It is deciding who's what faction. We have one more practice match, and then we're down to the real thing.
What are we gonna be? Russian.
Hoorah!
And sorry, did the map just start?
Alrighty. So we
So
got here with most points overall. Oh, never mind. Stat changed.
Yeah, I say it would
Alright.
be Russian. Purely for the T-34.
No. You're German in this death match.
No, we're talking about.
Alright. I'm gonna just go ahead and hop out of there really quickly. And there we go. Now it's a tad more quiet, so we don't have everybody rattling around inside that Discord. That was the Bloodbath Discord, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. That was having all that commotion inside of it. So we got here as the match is loading in. Once again, the Allies are being controlled by the 2nd Ranger Battalion, and the Axis, or the Germans, are being controlled by Bloodbath. I believe this is the side Bloodbath will be starting on. I'm not entirely certain. Both these zones are fairly similar. Alright. PFC Robbins in the chat saying that he regrets starting this. It is definitely a nightmare. You would not want to be a real soldier in this sort of a scenario. And once again, everybody, welcome to the stream. I have a few facts that I'll be reading out in the lulls between the battle, or in times of calm like this, that I can go ahead and load up here, probably. Alrighty, I'll have to open these up on my laptop or in another tab somewhere. Or actually, I could just, yeah, go ahead and start doing that. But anyways, if any of you have any questions or any concerns, feel free to say them. Again, I am here not only to entertain you, but to answer some of your questions, or to help provide some kind of better understanding as to the nature of this event. So if you have any comments, concerns, or questions, feel free to let them rip in chat. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy the madness. I am just going to quickly try and open up the tab that I had here. Alright, on my laptop so I can see everything and all that. Okay, and we have 20 seconds till the next round starts. which is going to automatically, I assume, launch into another artillery fest. You know, the Russians, back in the days of World War II, actually called grenades pocket artillery. Gives you an idea of how those weapons were actually used. And here we go, spawning in already with the Bloodbath side. Count them all, 86 Rich, Natty Frank, and a few others in this little pocket here. And the battle's on. Let's see how many grenades get thrown out already. Private Dimitri and Private Ryan. Private Ryan making a charge into the center, missing the charge. Already melee attacks getting blown up by grenades, and already the explosions are popping up all around here on this little room. Swinging in through the middle door here, we see on the 2nd Ranger Battalion side of things, it is still just an absolute madhouse over here as well. Dr. Von Sock actually managed to get inside the other side of the room here. It's impressive how many times he'll oh, there's a lot of satchel charges in here too, holy crap! Oh wow, it's impressive how many times confusion like this can lead to people getting inside the other opposing faction's base and not being noticed. As we see here now, Jeremiah Johnson and Gunny Rote, a large number of Bloodbath players actually inside the 2nd Ranger Battalion's area right now, absolutely decimating them, though the team kills are mounting up as well. 2nd Rangers actually leading right now 18-12, 19-13 now, as it is just still an absolute mess. Bodies littering the ground and explosives appearing everywhere from from every kind of direction. Over on the Bloodbath side of things, it's not nearly as gory, bloody, or violent, though there are still grenades that are appearing on the middle of the floor and giving pause to any attackers who are thinking of rushing through the center. Going back over now to the 2nd Ranger Battalion area, it is seeming like they're having trouble even getting out of spawn, as the majority of their team is simply not able to progress beyond the first few steps that they would take as they spawn in, due to the sheer volume of explosive firepower being dumped on them by the Bloodbath players. Besker Mando right here, standing on top of a pile of pallets, right as the game ends. Axis winning very handily. They absolutely decimated the 2nd in this match. Alrighty. Most effective player, most kill points, and most team points going to somebody whose name I unfortunately could not read off before I lost it. Karn109, thank you for following. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream right now. I appreciate it, brother. Alright. And overall team points on the top of Bloodbath goes to Mr. Death with 18, and Private First Class Robbins of the 2nd Ranger Battalion with 17. As we move on now to the next round. This map more often. It would be interesting to see in a custom server, definitely. It would be. Alright, and now we're changing to Omaha. Rifle only. Let's go ahead and inspect access again. This is the same map, never mind. Excuse me. Alright, it's going to be another round, I believe. This is going to be the deciding round of who plays what team. Let me just quickly hop back in here to the Discord server. It'll be a lot noisier now, keep in mind.
Is this still going on?
Alright, and in the time in between these moments here...
Guys, quit fucking spamming chat, goddammit.
Let me go ahead and log in here if I can.
Rich, please.
Rich.
Wait, okay.
Or to see something.
I think we're on standby right now.
Alrighty. So, a bit of a info dump here on my opinion of what the event is going to evolve into. It's going to be a contest, in this particular streamer's opinion, of organization and cohesion on the side of the 2nd Ranger Battalion and individual skill on the side of Bloodbath. It has been, it's fairly well known that the 2nd Rangers are a group that actively participate in scrimmages and events like this fairly regularly, so they have a decent amount of experience, and they also have a fairly solid command structure and chain of organization, chain of command. So they're going to have the benefit of being more coordinated, more driven in terms of team objectives. Bloodbath, on the other hand, is made up of some very, very skilled players, and is known as being a very a very community-oriented group. It's going to be a lot of camaraderie and individual efforts on their side. Their team leader, Soso, even stating that he does not actually plan on doing very much team leading, he just was going to rely on his team to actually be able to do the job themselves. He believes that his soldiers will know what to do and will do it when they need to, thus providing them the victory they seek. Alright, we got 10 seconds here, hip shots only, as we see the Bloodbath side spawning in again. With Admiral Akbar, Gunny Motard, Whiskey Jack, and Marapsko leading the front on that particular spawn.
Never mind, it's the last match. This is the one that decides it. Luck keeps on changing.
Alrighty. And we see a rush in here from Stalker getting hip fired at. Oh, he gets 2 melee kills where he gets wiped out by a grenade. That first rush by the Bloodbath players already succeeding, as we have a number of Bloodbath players up on the rafters, ramparts there, getting gunned down rather quickly, as the 2nd Ranger Battalion has sent their own, force over here to try and get a overwatch on the Bloodbath side. Both sides now reaching a stalemate, as Natty Frank charges in with a satchel charge in hand, chucking it, and now making a run. Go gets meleeed by Krunen, the private first class of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Private Dimitri getting blown up by a satchel charge there, as the rest of this, Bloodbath is now completely taken over the upper rafters of the 2nd Ranger Battalion side. Oh wow, they are just completely overrunning the 2nd Ranger Battalion position, killing them in spawn, meleeing them and gunning them down as they pop into the game. Oh, this is a disaster for the 2nd Rangers. There are a number of Bloodbath players still in here, though the allies, the 2nd Rangers, are actually getting higher on the scoreboard than the Bloodbath players are, possibly due to team kills on Bloodbath's part from all those grenades and satchel charges that were spammed at the beginning of the match. And we see here it's kind of evened out now. We have more Bloodbath players still pouring into the upper section, but no, the allies will in fact win. Bloodbath, despite that very strong showing of getting into the 2nd Ranger spawn, not being able to actually pull through the victory for this particular round, giving the victory to the Russians as their song of success plays in the background. 19 overall points for Private Dust, the best performing player on the 2nd Rangers this round, and the Pancake Man, 11 points overall for Bloodbath over on the German team. And I believe this is going to decide what team or what side gets to choose their preferred faction for the actual upcoming event. I'm going to undeafen myself in the Discord so I can make sure.
Didn't work. We're back on that map, doing it anyway.
Yeah, it's
I know. We're just stand by.
Alright, and there's apparently some confusion with the map rotation at the moment.
Boy, you want Squad 5 or do you want me to take it?
As Bloodbath is starting to organize themselves into their squads and into their teams.
Blood, you should probably add a few more squad.
And it seems that the...
Well, yeah,
right,
because I went Russian and then everyone was still going German.
Alright, let me know if the campaign screen pops up.
Well, we're kind of just dickering out.
Alright, and it seems that Bloodbath is going to be Russians, while the 2nd Rangers are going to be the Germans. As the admins try and get the server set up for the campaign event.
Does anyone see the campaign map?
No.
There's no campaign map currently.
Wouldn't you have to restart the server?
No, I
Alright.
forgot to hit the button.
He forgot to hit the button. Alrighty. And there you have it, Blood Malice himself forgetting the button. And here we go. Alright.
Everyone go to Russian.
And now everybody's distributing themselves, and I am going to spectate as the Russians, hopefully, once these next matches start. Here is the campaign map, if you can see here. So on Krasny, it's Cold Steel and Red October Factory. Oh, and we're going to Grain Elevator or Station. I do not know what actual province this was. I was not paying close enough attention, unfortunately.
Leaders and TLs vote.
Alright, let's just hop out of there. I just wanted to make sure that I knew what side everybody was on. Alrighty, and it looks like the 2nd Rangers are going to be voting for Station. Alright. So it's going to be a contest in West over Station, with Bloodbath defending as the Russians and the Germans attacking, with the 2nd Ranger Battalion leading the Wehrmacht to victory, potentially, in this engagement. As we see here on the loading screen, it's going to be intense close quarters fighting for a fair portion of this battle, with the train yard being the most difficult portion of this fight typically during online pub matches. It's definitely going to be a very tough challenge. I spoke with one of the 2nd Rangers higher-ups before the match started, and he said that while he did not have a particular preference for what side his clan picked or what side he played on, he believed that their general strategy would revolve around long-range combat as the Axis or close quarters battling as the Allies, since those two strategies are what those factions generally excel at in the field and in gameplay. And as we load in here, we see everybody swapping into their respective sides. I'm going to go ahead and start roaming and looking at the map. As always, this is going to be an absolute meat grinder, as most matches usually are, but the first point on this map is typically one of the hardest points in the game to take, especially during public matches, though we'll have to see how the coordination of the 2nd Rangers turns into effectiveness on the field. They might have an advantage over most public players because they have the ability to coordinate their efforts and focus them on a specific objective. But then again, it should be noted that the Bloodbath team is made up of many veterans who also know this game very well, so it could help put a stop to the coordinated and concerted efforts of the 2nd Rangers. And as we wait here, let me just go ahead and pull up some other factoids. So, it also should be noted that Bloodbath hasn't held one of these events since over a year ago, which is when they engaged the Bonsai servers and the Bonsai server and the Brazilian RO2 community in a similarly orchestrated scrimmage as an event. Both sides, both teams here, said that they would be certainly willing to engage in these sorts of events again, and they look at it very well. Or they look at it as a very fun opportunity, both as practice and as an enjoyable activity. And as we watch here, we have 5 seconds till the match starts. Both teams should be spawning in very soon. And we see here the Germans are already spawning in, 2nd Rangers, making a break for the left side of the objective area, using those train cars as cover and moving towards the building.
Yeah, I will.
Nobody going towards the right, all of them seemingly hanging towards the left, as the Russians are now engaging them. We have some up-close firefighting going on here in the bombed-out buildings. Admiral Akbar and Dr. Von Sock, along with Captain Reynolds, engaging Voon, First Sergeant Bunch, and Sergeant Henderson, along with many of the other 2nd Rangers and Bloodbath members over on this particular section of the map. Smoke going out here towards the center of A, as it seems that Bloodbath has actually spread their defenses out along Alpha, seemingly predicting an attempt at an attack across the entire front, not expecting the massive push towards one flank that the 2nd Rangers seem to be pushing right now. Bloodbath seemingly holding strong for now, although artillery is already being called in by So-So, decimating the push by the 2nd Rangers, being called in right on top of where their first push was. They still have a solid presence here over in the left-hand side of the objective, left for the Germans, that is, but Bloodbath does have a number of members there as well. This blown-out Panzer here and this small, ruined 2-room building being the primary battlegrounds for this small engagement here. 2nd Lieutenant Ashen being gunned down by Predator. Oh, and a team kill by Hekamiya, getting too caught up in the moment. Not, unfortunately, checking his target before he gunned him down. Risky click, along with Admiral Akbar moving in towards the center of Alpha to help defend, as the 2nd Rangers are seemingly moving towards the right side of the battle now, the right side of the battlefield, getting stuck in near this train and bombed-out building with these trenches. It seems they're going for a flank on the side of the objective, going prone here, trying not to be noticed along the side of these cars, but Hekamiya and Zachary Moe have gotten them pinned down. They've spotted them for the team. Oh, Hekamiya goes down. It seems that Das Sikorsky is over here, though, so he could be able to hold off and alert the team, and so is Zachary Moe. They are aware of the push of the 2nd Rangers now. PFC Redhawk getting shot as he tries to jump forward, and oh, Predator gunning down Private Ryan from behind that train car, but he gets gunned down himself by these two defenders here, PFC Carver and T5 Voon. The battle is coming to a bit of a head here, a bit of a standstill, as the left-hand side of the map has still not been taken over. Oh, Private Dimitri being gunned down by Von Sock there. Typical close-quarter fighting in the Battle of Stalingrad being put on full display right here as Sergeant Henderson tries to call around, and Private Bauman rushes forward as well to help his superior officer, or help the commanding officer above him, or superior officer rather, as Von Sock gets gunned down by Henderson. Those two now securing that wall for the 2nd Rangers as they begin to push up. Henderson making a break, but getting blown up by a grenade! Oh, from Smoke Prophet. He has lost his legs and his life as 2nd Lieutenant Ashen advances forward, gunning down Stalker with a bit of a Rambo machine gun move there, as Smoke Prophet moves around the wall to try and engage with any 2nd Battalion members that may be going on, or around that corner, which includes Ashen, though he seems to have gone prone to watch that side of the wall as smoke pours in on the Bloodbath defenders, blocking their line of sight. Alright, and along the rest of the battlefield here, it seems they've captured Alpha and moved on to Charlie and Bravo, having completely overrun the defenders on the right-hand side of the objective zone. The second is now moving in to secure C entirely, as it seems that Bloodbath is not putting many of its eggs over in this particular basket. Hekamiya is over here with his PPSH, watching for any German advancement over on this particular section of the battlefield, but it seems the rest of the team has set themselves up inside Bravo to try and defend this building, get some more of that close quarters action and play to their team's advantages. And it seems the Axis have now captured C platform. The 2nd Rangers are moving in. They are, however, encountering some resistance. Hekamiya and Lonely Rose over there. Lonely Rose being shot. Hekamiya now as well. Private Salinas getting a kill in. Having himself bandaged, though. He's taken an injury. As we zoom in here and look in on the Bloodbath defenders. But $10 in the American team, they probably will end up winning, you're right. Brown Corp cardboard box here with an STG pulled out of his back pocket as he drops his Mosin after it runs out of ammo, watching out of a window alongside Natty Frank. Let's see what he can see from the perspective here of a viewer. We have a number of other Russian defenders out there. Oh, Von Sock getting gunned down by First Lieutenant Gary out there in that building. They definitely are keeping the pressure up on the Bloodbath defenders on all sides of the objective. It's going to be tough to break into this building, though. It definitely isn't pub matches. As Stalker advances out here to this building, or this side of the building, bombed-out building here, with Sergeant Henderson getting gunned down. A single shot from Gunny Rotes, sending him flying back into the dirt. Private Ryan is slowly advancing inside this other bombed-out building, getting an eye on the possible Bloodbath defenders out there in that other bombed-out husk of a former dwelling. This particular spot on the battlefield seeing a lot of close-quarters combat and a lot of action in the first few minutes, as we have Bruhaker coming up here to rush up and help the defense with Stalker, reinforce him a little bit, as Private Ryan gets shot! Oh, but First Lieutenant Gary avenges his comrade as he slowly advances forward, this being the TL for the team of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Advancing forward, Stalker tries to get a shot off, but oh! Gary misses also, and a second shot from Stalker also missed! As they slowly advance around, oh, but Gary's gonna get knocked out by Count Des Moines, who I am unsure where he is, but he was definitely providing overwatch on that particular section of the building, as Sergeant Henderson is coming back around, chucking grenades over onto that side of the objective. If those Bloodbath players don't get out of there soon, oh, and Pancake Man is wiped out, but the rest of them were thankfully far enough away to avoid that explosion and the detonation range. Ruger coming back around to support Stalker again. Stalker, thankfully and luckily, surviving a lot of the conflict here. He's living longer than most soldiers in the Eastern Front would in this particular battle. And now we have, over here on the other side of the map, some more action as the 2nd Ranger Battalion advances over to the right flank of Bravo, back through C, back through Charlie. Not much success seemingly haven't been made here, but let's check inside just to make sure. Don't want to say things with too much authority without checking to make sure. The inside of the building seems mostly to be secured. The Bloodbath defenders are definitely losing men, but they are not losing them from shots coming from the inside. Risky Click and Bruhaker both taking up defensive positions now, watching the bottom portions of the little facility here, as Berger is chucking grenades into some of the more peripheral rooms of the defensive zone, trying to kill anyone that might have stuck inside, as we have Warrant Officer 3 Mendoza now actually sitting in here. Oh, almost gunning down Smoke Prophet, but no! Smoke is going to stab him right in his gut! Unfortunately, not able to kill off Smoke Prophet before he was able to end him, thus ruining the chances of maintaining, for the moment anyways, that small foothold they had.
Baker, on the right, let me know. I'll be able to fucking...
Alrighty, and as we zoom back over here to the other side, we still seemingly have a number of Bloodbath defenders over on this left flank here for the German perspective. Now you'll note that some of the players on the German team do not have ranks in the 2nd Ranger Battalion, as we see Oracle and Dr. Von Sock getting shot by 2 different players, Oracle getting shot by Von Sock himself, and then Von Sock getting gunned down, another player on the German team. But some of the players from the 2nd Ranger Battalion were unfortunately able to make it, as such, Bloodbath has offered to provide them with some players from their own community to try and fill out their ranks, which they accepted, which is why you'll see some players for the 2nd Rangers that do not actually have a rank and do not seem to be part of their team, as you see with Oracle here, who actually is accidentally gunned down by 2nd Lieutenant Ashen, getting shot in the butt during an accidental, team killing as actually the 2nd Rangers have a nice foothold here. They've taken this part of the map. If they get a hold of this breach right here, that's going to be very bad for Bloodbath. As damn, I didn't catch the name of that, but Jeremiah Johnson just gunned him down. And he's now focusing fire on some of the other 2nd Ranger Battalion members. Lieutenant Ashen, 2nd Lieutenant Ashen, excuse me, putting down fire on that particular defensive position. But he's getting shot himself by You Can't See Me, and indeed I don't see him. I have no idea where that came from. But whoever he is and wherever he was, he definitely could see Ashen. Let's swap back over here to the other side. It seems that we have another little outpush from the Bloodbath defenders as Lonely Rose moves up and gets gunned down by Scott, but he gets gunned down by Smoke Prophet, who is also doing work out here trying to suppress the German attackers.
Good artillery over there.
Alright. Incoming artillery from the Russian defenders over on that right-hand side of the battle, right side of from the Russian perspective, excuse me. I need to try and stick with a certain perspective and go with that. I apologize, this can be somewhat confusing, but luckily that artillery from Old Boy is actually now blocking off the offensive from the 2nd Ranger Battalion on this particular side of the battle, so that foothold that they had is now lost, unfortunately, with that tactical placement of high explosive ordnance from the defenders. They are, however, going to try and reclaim that fairly quickly as Private Cleve moves up under the supporting fire of Private First Class Werner. However, the Bloodbath defenders seem to be ready for him as Risky Click, Pie Slicer, and Gunny Motard are all there, but Private Pence just took down Gunny Motard as Count Moyne runs forward to try and get back against that wall that has seen so much action and had so much blood spilled against it this day. Tweet of the campaign, we just started Blitzy, so no winners yet. You are here right at the beginning of the first match. We have lockdown timer. I just noticed that lockdown timer in less than 2 minutes. If the 2nd Ranger Battalion does not manage to get inside and capture Bravo in less than 2 minutes, they will not be able to win this match and they will lose. As we have First Sergeant Bunch running up here. Oh, getting shot at. Thankfully managing to kill Lonely Rose. Able to continue his advance through the smoke towards Bravo. Could this result in an infiltration of the Bloodbath defenses getting inside behind the enemy? 2nd Rangers, First Sergeant Bunch, moving in. Oh, he's in the 2nd level now, going to the 3rd level. He's taking out the Maxim machine gun. Will they be able to communicate that presence to the other members of the team? Getting in behind everybody. There's Baby Teeth and Best Commando. He manages to kill off multiple defenders. Holy shit! First Sergeant Bunch is a goddamn hero right now, just as his class describes. Taking the fight to the Bloodbath defenders, taking out a number of their forces. Zachary Moe going for a melee but missing as he's finally taken down by a hip-firing Dishka from the Pancake Man. Excuse me, not Dishka, DP-28, the dinner plate machine gun. That was an intense run. That man should be very proud of his service to his country and to his team. As we zoom out back here, hopefully that'll allow his team to get a bit of a better foothold, and it seems like it has. Sergeant Saunders and the rest of the 2nd are moving in. 30 seconds left on the countdown timer with Admiral Akbar taking out Werner and Upham, both Private First Classes, as the rest of the Rangers try and advance desperately into the building to try and get a hold of that cap zone and secure themselves at least a bit more time to attain victory here. Oh, Smoke Prophet with a grenade running in. That's a clusterfuck of Germans in there. It takes out Bauman and Letsnitsky, but not Mendoza, as 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds on the lockdown means that Bloodbath has won the first match, securing an initial defensive victory against the 2nd Ranger Battalion on station. 64 remaining reinforcements for the 2nd Ranger Battalion and 164 for Bloodbath. Alrighty, apparently I have 5 team points as well as a spectator, alright. Most points in the Germans was 83 team points for Private Pence for the 2nd Rangers, and 92 with Mr. Death on the Bloodbath side with the Russians. Enemy sustained heavy casualties. The German 2nd Rangers are going to have 159 combat power for next turn. Bloodbath is going to have 209. That was definitely a strategic victory for them. I am going to take a drink of water. Alrighty, we're going to see here and decide what region to attack. Now, keep in mind, Only the team leader and the squad leaders of Bloodbath can vote and decide on what region to attack. They're the only people who can actually decide what territory they're going to assault. And we see here now they're going to have a choice of attacking Debreccia, or, excuse me, Kuporosnaya, Winterwald, or Tula outskirts. 2 votes going to Winterwald now, and 3 votes going to Winterwald, 1 to Debreccia, and 1 to Tula outskirts. Alright, so we're going to Winterwald on step. The Russians attacking Winterwald. This is going to be interesting, everybody. 25, my dude. Down to 27, man. Yeah. Thank you. Alright. And we'll see here how Bloodbath does on the offensive in Winterwald, as the 2nd Ranger Battalion will be defending, possibly being able to use those German MGs to their advantage. Winterwald is a fairly long-range engagement map, so the heavy firepower from the German side might actually be able to turn the tide, the red tide that is, in this upcoming engagement, as we all load in here into the match. Alrighty. And I am actually, I can't, oh, I shouldn't be doing that. I will spectate the allies. I shouldn't be on the team, I should be spectating. Alrighty. So yeah, as you see here, this front point is going to be fairly difficult for the Germans to use their machine guns on effectively because of the fog. It's always been hard to get long-range engagements. They're going to have to rely on shooting at silhouettes and shadows in the distance, which could increase the chance of team kills and friendly fire. Though with the organization of the 2nd Rangers, they might be able to keep that to a minimum. We'll have to see. Can't wait for Bridges. Bridges, fun fact, Bridges and Mishkova are actually going to be on the very last objective zones of the campaign. They are going to be on, I don't remember what the actual zones are called, but each of them are going to be on one of those 2 zones. They're to make the final defense the final assaults, rather, very, very challenging for whoever manages to get to those territories. And as we see here, with the smoke rising from the fallen artillery shells and from the crashed German plane, Bloodbath and 2nd Ranger Battalion are sure to be talking to their men, getting them in the spirit of things, and keeping the action going as the smoke and snow settles on this foggy Russian hillside. As always, it is going to be a very, very, very difficult fight. Both of these teams are quite skilled at what they do, and it's going to be very interesting, in my mind, to watch them do their work. As we have Alpha and Bravo popping up now on the map with the last 5 seconds of the game, and we'll watch as the Germans rush their defensive positions at the very beginning. And we see them now coming in off their spawn, with Private Bauman, Private First Class Letsninsky, and Private First Class Upham, rushing out towards the barn, it seems. Might be putting some men in there to provide a bit of overwatch and prevent the Russians from taking that as a holding once they take the first 2 positions. We already have some kills out here from Mr. Death and Gunny Motard. The action is definitely coming along very quickly. Brewhaker coming out here, needing ammo evidently, along with Zachary Moe rushing towards Bravo. Natty Frank also on this little ledge, little rise that prevents them from getting shot by German MG fire. Bravo's already being taken by Bloodbath. It seems that the defenders for the 2nd Ranger Battalion are going to have to gun down those Russians once they advance beyond that little rise, as they do not have visual confirmation on their positions just yet. 2nd Lieutenant Ashen and Private Bauman both sitting here ready to go ahead and bring the pain on the Russians as artillery from the 2nd Rangers is falling down over by Alpha, taking out a number of the Bloodbath players. 1st Lieutenant Gary leading the charge, or leading the team rather, this time around for the 2nd Rangers. Seemingly stopping the Russian advance over here, though they are still securing the objective zone. The Lag Ferry having advanced up to this destroyed or knocked out T-34, being shot though by Private Salinas over here in this little mortar hole. Crater, I guess you could say, from an artillery strike as Baby Teeth and Mr. Death move forward. Mr. Death running up towards towards that knocked out T-34 again. Moving even further forward, Hero Class possibly trying to get some kills in, but he is shot by Private First Class Red Hawk as Old Boy's calling in his own artillery, falling over on the defensive fortifications of Bravo. A lot of long-range fire coming in now. It seems that it's going to be a contest of who can get the most kills in these first positions you know, who can get the most kills in these first positions, as there is not a lot of charging being done by Bloodbath, save for a few brave Ramboing souls, as a lot of the defenders are being taken out by this artillery here. Bloodbath decides to make a charge now. They might be able to actually make something happen, but until they take that cap zone, which it seems to be happening very soon that they will, yes, and there it is. They're not probably going to want to. And here we go. Here comes the Russian charge up the hill, which is one man, Dr. Von Sock, rushing up towards that barn. Not getting shot at just yet. This brave man is going to be taking the fight to the enemy as we see PFC Upman and PFC... Oh, Private Pence gunning down up... Oh, no. Yes, gunning down Pancake Man along with the Russian that was right here. I forget his name, unfortunately. He is definitely defending that barn. They do not want the Russians to take a hold of it. With his MKB-42 protecting this wheat and chaff. Alright. As Ask for Trouble and the rest of the Bloodbath forces advance up on the left flank of the from the Russian perspective, as PFC Carver sits here by this Zis gun that got knocked out and charges back towards Charlie. Turtle Tummies, thanks for following, man. Glad you're enjoying the stream. I appreciate it, brother. As we see that Bloodbath has actually taken a fair amount of territory over on the left. They're advancing into the town. Lonely Rose being gunned down by Corporal Stone, and MG-42 back there as Mr. Death crawls forward by a woodpile, trying to get a sight of, or line of sight on the enemy. It seems that the Bloodbath has actually taken a lot of territory on the left out in the little farm fields over here. They are trying to very, very heavily outflank the German forces. You can't see me, Kooby Booby, and the Lag Fairy moving in to try and take out some of those rear defenders. Though they have been spotted and are getting shot. Oh! But You Can't See Me takes out Private Salinas, who was trying to get a shot off on those advancing Russians, but was unfortunately gunned down himself. Alright, and it seems the Russians are finally advancing into Charlie. They've gotten a foothold on the center front of the objective, and they are now pouring into this crater as there is smoke popping everywhere. Not a lot of second Rangers in the defensive zones at the moment. It seems they're mostly pulling back either to the hill to try and get some long-range shots off, or to the very rear of the objective. They might just be trying to bleed Bloodbath's tickets before they get to the more dangerous fortifications up at the top of the hill. And there we have it. Bloodbath has captured Mir's Village, Charlie, and they are advancing on to Echo and Delta up the hill. And we see here as Private Pence is actually going to try and mount a defense for the retreaters with Sergeant Henderson, though he gets gunned down. Lonely Rose bleeding out now above Private Pence. Not a very pretty sight, as Private Dust as well is lying behind some of these defenses, trying to keep himself concealed, yet also deadly. Possibly even using this particular weapon, the SVT, as a sort of protection against being spotted through ears, or through the sound that his Gewehr would otherwise make, though he is going to get gunned down by Besker Mando as Besker advances up somewhere in the town. As we watch out here to the far right, we have Bloodbath advancing on the far right flank towards Echo, already starting towards the hill. Mr. Death and Captain Reynolds up to that destroyed plane. It seems they're going to get very close to those defensive lines, and there's not a lot of second Rangers over here, just 3 or 4 by my count. Private Dimitri, I don't know what that rank is, RCT, Favorito, and PFC Redhawk, PFC Werner, and Private Cleve. Alright. Mr. Death is going to be on his stomach. Oh, as Captain Reynolds advances forward, kills Dimitri and Favorito, but will he get gunned down by Werner as he slowly advances up past this tree? Does Werner have line of sight on him? No, he does not. That little rise in the snow is blocking his perspective. Allies have captured Delta also. They have captured the other objective. Lonely Rose and Smoke Prophet helping lead the charge, it seems, against the enemy, along with Baby Teeth and a few others of Bloodbath, as we have Carver here and Dust in the ammo center of the Echo objective. Risky Click, Zachary Moe, Dasikorsky, and a plethora of other Bloodbath players here by this down plane, waiting for the command or the opportunity to charge in and take out these defenders. Alright, and the Allies have now captured Echo. This is not looking good for the 2nd Rangers, as they are losing a lot of ground. Bloodbath still has a 113 ticket lead on the 2nd Rangers in this current battle, and they're going to pull back again. Private Cleve almost getting killed by a grenade, but getting shot by a brown cardboard box. That is a very strange warrior to find on a battlefield, but it seems he's proving himself effective indeed, as 2nd Rangers are now mounting a defensive in the trees, watching for the Bloodbath attackers as they advance up past these captured objectives, likely doing a guarded retreat, as they are now sitting up inside the trenches and fortifications over by Foxtrot. This trench line is going to be close quarters fighting territory, which is what the Russians excel at as a faction, and we'll have to see how Bloodbath handles themselves, in that kind of a situation. Alright. We see here already Private Pence down there trying to mount a bit of a defense, forward defense, actually, against Bloodbath, pulling back now. Not meeting much resistance from Bloodbath, as it seems a lot of deaths coming from Bloodbath. It seems they're charging around from the rear of F. They're actually attacking. You see Brewhaker and Pancake Man, along with a number of other Bloodbath players and attackers, moving in towards the territory defended by Sergeant Saunders. They're in the far, far rear. Seems the 2nd Rangers have noticed their attempts, though, and are gunning them down, but can they gun down everybody before they get shot themselves? That is going to be the question. Oh! And we see a rather dramatically dying Russian soldier there, flailing and flailing and dancing in the snow as he falls to his death. This Fast Johnny, Mr. Death, and Natty Frank. Natty Frank moving forward directly into those trench lines. Voon gunning him down! Hiding there in that little alcove of the trenches, proving to be an effective strategy so far as he steals Natty Frank's PPSH. Oh, as Pancake Man moves forward and Pancake Man guns him down! Oh no, that reload was what did him in! He tried reloading that PPSH to get more ammunition in the mag, but it was not going to be enough. We're not going to be fast enough, rather. Alright. And it seems that the Bloodbath has effectively taken this entire section of the defenses, securing this part of the fortifications very easily. I see not a single defender from the 2nd Ranger Battalion over in this particular portion of the map, though they are still getting kills. It seems that Foxtrot will readily fall to Bloodbath as they advance further forward into the battle. Foxtrot now being captured in about 5 seconds or less by the attackers, as it seems that the 2nd Rangers are going to be lying in the snow by the trees again, trying to pick off a few of the enemies before falling back to those defensive, or to those AA positions, trying to keep them from getting destroyed. We'll see how that goes. This might be more difficult for Bloodbath, but they do have a number of experienced engineers on their team. As more action is coming out, and we have some artillery from... Or no, that was a satchel charge, actually, from 1st Sergeant Bunch, as there is a large assault from Bloodbath across the entire left-hand side of the defensive fortifications here, from the perspective of the Germans. You can see many of them being shot, but many more of them even being successful in reaching those defenses. Smoke Prophet and Captain Reynolds reaching the front sandbag lines of those defenses, along with a large portion of their Bloodbath players. If those Bloodbath players get in there with a satchel, then F is going to go down. There is not a single 2nd Ranger Battalion member in sight. Oh, and Pancake Man gets in and throws the satchel. That is going to be it for Objective I. That is going to go down in flames in seconds. And H is already destroyed as well. Oh, this is not good. It seems that the 2nd Rangers have already put all their eggs into the basket of G. They're going to try and defend Gulf with all their might. We have PFC Robbins and Private Dust over here on the hill by these sandbags defending against Bloodbath, as the MG42 fire pours down on top of the attackers from PFC Werner and his comrades. We'll watch here as he reloads, see his perspective. Smoke and confusion on the battlefield abounding as Natty Frank and Ska Cat Manifesto advance forward. Natty Frank getting gunned down by Werner. Oh no. Bullets just perforating his body. Oh, and we see artillery coming down from So-So, right on top of a hub of the defenders. That is going to disrupt part of their defensive formation, but it might not be enough to take G. As we see Sergeant Henderson, Private Dimitri, and Sergeant Loeb, along with Private First Class Axel, defending the immediate trenches near Objective Gulf. Though Kubi Boobies moving in the trenches near Private First Class Axel. Axel having spotted him and shooting Smoke Prophet. We'll see if he gets killed. Oh, and Kubi taking him down. He did not notice the Russian lying in the trench. As we see here, there's more artillery dropping down on the rear reinforcing zone for the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Definitely making a strong stand, though. Pancake Man is now inside Gulf. He might have a satchel. Oh, no, he gets taken down. Alrighty, the defenders from the 2nd Rangers definitely putting up a strong fight here, preventing the Bloodbath players from taking Gulf. They might have made the right decision putting all their eggs in one basket. It seems that Bloodbath is definitely having a hard time reaching them. They are still, Bloodbath, all the way over on the left side of the objective, back where I and H were before they got destroyed. They are having a hard time pushing up and advancing towards the last position. They're going to have to try and flank around the enemy if they want to actually get to those objectives and destroy them. But, oh, there we go! Oh, the Allies have destroyed it. I didn't see who got it, but it is down. And now it's just J. It is just the camp, and it seems that Bloodbath is already in control. It is not going to be likely that 2nd Ranger Battalion manages to push in there and dislodge those attackers. And J is going to be rapidly captured. So it looks like, even though it may be a little early to call, that Bloodbath is going to go ahead and win their first assault against the 2nd Rangers on Winterwald. A very good match from both sides, and a very valiant defense of G there at the end of Objective Golf of the 2nd Rangers. Very good showing all around. And we'll see how far the Red Tide can carry their attackers into the enemy territory, with the most points going to Private Pence with 161 overall, and Smoked Prophet on Bloodbath with 255 overall. Private Pence being a member of the 2nd Rangers Battalion, in case you weren't aware. Alright. And there you have it, folks. That is going to be the first assault from Bloodbath. Definitely a strong showing from them. 47 kills for Private Pence. That is very impressive. He was doing very good work with that MKB-42 as the only objective, or as Bloodbath takes over the steppe territory, leaving Mamiev, Barakadi, Machetka, and Traktorny as the remaining strongholds for the German team. It seems that they are going to be attacking Machetka and voting. I don't know why I'm seeing this still. Probably because I'm a spectator. But they're going to be voting for Machetka, and I'll see what map it is here in a moment. I apologize for not actually being able to show you what they're voting for in real time, but it seems that something is wrong with the spectator mode in campaign right now. But it is changing maps, so we'll see very soon here what has been chosen by the commanding officers of Bloodbath. It's Stalingrad Kessel! Oh, Kessel is always fun to play. It can be an absolute nightmare, though. It's going to be tough. This is going to be tough. We'll see how the 2nd Rangers can hold on to these objectives. This is a small map, but it's a very, very intense map. Alright. Go ahead and hop in here as we get into the loading screen. I am not going to be playing, I'm going to be spectating the Allies. And as you can see here, for those of you who are not familiar, this is going to be a very tough map to face. The first objective that the Russians are going to have to take, the Bloodbath is going to have to try and capture, is this bombed-out factory here, which is 2-leveled, and it can be an absolute nightmare of close-quarters fighting, submachine guns, MG-42s, and grenades to get a hold of. Hopefully the 2nd Rangers Battalion will be able to effectively defend this, or else they might find themselves losing their ground very, very quickly against the Red Tide. Okay. The rest of the objectives in the area are going to be this train yard, which is a killing field for an MG that gets set up in either these windows over here on the train house, or on top of this, or on top of the train house along the stairwell. And Bravo itself is going to be in this other bombed-out factory, another bad place to be as an attacker or defender. Really, Stalingrad in general is a bad place to be, if we're being completely honest. But this factory as well is going to be an attacking zone, or a death trap. Another place for close-quarters fighting, though a lot of funneling corridors as well, so a set-up machine gun or a decent dedicated rifle squad will be able to hold off these hallways very easily. The last objective to be taken, as usual, being Delta, back here, this rear train yard where the Germans spawn in. And if they get pushed back there, then it is going to be very hard to hold off the Russian defenders. Not a very defensible position, especially if the Russians manage to take over the upper levels of that train yard and get a solid base of fire from the top of that Bravo point. As the teams spawn in now and we get started, we have another spectator joining in. Hopefully they enjoy the view as Besker Mando and Hekamiya, along with Brown Cardboard Box, leading the charge for the Russians out towards Alpha. Going to be a very, very hectic, fast-paced rush here as the Russians now move in, popping smoke as the defenders now can see them, potentially. We have Hekamiya, Marapsko, Smoke Prophet, and 86 Rich moving in. First Sergeant Bunch getting a first kill on Baby Teeth. First blood goes to the 2nd Ranger Battalion, but Smoke Prophet, with that grenade, taking out a number of defenders as he himself gets blown up by a grenade. And the Allies are already attacking the warehouse, having a solid hold on the front portion of this facility, moving on to the upper levels, it seems, to try and get a foothold on the main advantage of these defenders, though a lot of the 2nd Ranger Battalion are over on the very, very top as well. It's going to be difficult to dislodge those boys without some heavy pocket artillery, a lot of which is being chucked down at the assault, or at the assaulting team as we speak. DFC Robinson, Sergeant Henderson, along with Private Cleve, giving a very good and powerful overwatch against the Bloodbath attackers. As Nettie Frank and Marapsko spawn alongside Dr. Von Sock and move up into the attacking position once again. Nettie Frank coming up and getting shot by Sergeant Henderson. And a wall of the rail yard has been breached, which means that the Russians are going to be able to assault this side section of the map, and are going to be able to push in and try and take out some of those defenders. The Germans, though, anticipating this, 2nd Rangers already having some men over here, Sergeant Saunders and Private Pence, defending very, very effectively against the 1 or 2 Germans that were going to be, or 1 or 2 Russians, excuse me, Bloodbath players were going to be pushing in and trying to use this to their advantage. Allies, Bloodbath are now attacking A. They have the advantage of numbers inside the objective. It seems there's not too many of them over in this particular section yet, though there are a few. They are slowly encroaching on the defenders, however. The defenders from the 2nd Rangers are still up top. They still have some members inside, though they will have to be pouring more men in if they want to hold on to it, but they will not, it seems. They have lost Alpha. We'll have to see how long it takes for Bloodbath to clear out this objective, because unless you clear out this Alpha building, it's going to be very hard to maintain an attack on the rest of the objectives on the map. You'll be fighting to hold on to this territory and prevent them from backcapping you every single time, as Bravo is already being assaulted, and they've already captured Bravo! My god! Bloodbath is just absolutely steamrolling right now through these objectives. We'll have to see how they get to Charlie, how they deal with Charlie being captured. But Bravo is already under Bloodbath control as well, seemingly meeting little to no resistance inside Bravo. Alright, the 2nd Rangers are moving towards Alpha now. We have Mendoza and Bunch here, going around the side wall, engaging a Bloodbath member, Bunch killing Old Boy as he moves in. Stalker and Lag Fairy almost getting Bunch. The reaction's not quick enough, it seems, as Stalker continues to poke his head out. A bit of a corner stalemate here with Mendoza and Stalker both keeping their heads high, watching for enemy soldiers moving in. It seems the Bloodbath members are not on the assault on this, or not able to successfully assault this particular section of the map just yet. Smoke Prophet getting a kill on a defending German who tried to melee him, and Von Sock as well. One of the keys to attacking Charlie is knocking down these back walls on the railway, so we'll have to see how well and how quickly Bloodbath can do that. 86 Rich, Jeremiah Johnson, and Predator 922 moving out to try and get some assaulting in. Jeremiah Johnson getting bombed or shot down pretty quickly, but a lot of Bloodbath members also moving in very, very speedily to try and bring in some more reinforcements, with smoke grenades going out to try and conceal their advancement. They are going to have a very solid hold on this particular portion of the map now, with the few defenders that were here from the 2nd Rangers Battalion getting knocked out very quickly as Predator moves in, providing covering fire as Gooby Booby on the Russian side moves up, or as the German side, excuse me, moves up, possibly providing some support, tossing a grenade over the wall. That's going to land, oh, right by those Russian attackers. A lot of grenades blowing up the Bloodbath players that were over on this particular section, but that wall is down, and with that wall down means that there is a very serious defensive problem for the Germans. The Russians can now pour directly inside that particular objective. The Germans, apparently, 2nd Rangers, are attacking Bravo right now and trying to take it back, though it seems that the Russians are actually securing the front portion of the train yard as well, having set up a machine gun, a dinner plate, and another rifleman. Risky Click, oh, Risky Click gets shot! And this is just intense. I did not believe that it would be this fast-paced or crazy, but I am loving it right now. Gunny Motard and Risky Click both inside the rear section of the defensive zone, but getting behind the defenders of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Oh, First Sergeant Bunch taking down One of the attackers here will risk shooting him as well. One of the German machine guns making itself known, Corporal Stone, providing supporting fire from this window on overwatch on the objective zone as a whole, as Private Cleve moves out to try and reinforce the defenders, as Second Lieutenant Ashen provides some supporting fire with his MG34 as well, as Charlie is being overrun with Bloodbath members. They have secured the front portion of Charlie with a few of them, with a few Russian soldiers, a few Bloodbath attackers, as Admiral Akbar and Hekamiya are advancing themselves. Hekamiya putting himself below this particular train car, watching for any feet or legs, or possibly even ankles that he could shoot. As Asper, Trouble, Gunny Motar, Jeremiah Johnson, Baby Teeth, and Zachary Moe move in, along with a number of other Bloodbath players. It seems they are going to indeed flood this particular objective and take it from the defenders. Bravo is not going to be captured in time. If you notice there on the capturing counter, Bravo is almost captured by the Germans and secured for them themselves away from Bloodbath. Would have possibly slowed down the Bloodbath assault, but that is not going to happen, as the 2nd Rangers are now pushed back all the way to Delta. They are not going to have a good time defending this position. As we see here that Bloodbath is rushing out from the Bravo building, sending out a number of forces to go and secure those front bombed-out buildings in the front of Delta to try and get some SLs in there, or possibly even machine guns. Lonely Rose being engaged by Red Hawk, who chases her off, or him off, excuse me. Goes for a melee, but gets shot because the enemy that he was looking for was not there, as Brewhaker gets stabbed in the gut by Sergeant Saunders. Stalker, meanwhile, up in the front of the fighting zone for Delta by these sandbags. A number of Germans apparently already having made their way here, but having been gunned down. Aiming towards 2nd Lieutenant Ashen and a few other Germans right now, as the smoke billows out from that smoke grenade and makes it a bit more difficult to see him and the enemy, as Admiral Akbar moves up in the rest of Bloodbath as well, as Bloodbath is now rushing into these left-hand bombed-out buildings to try and secure a foothold over in this particular portion of the map. It seems that Bloodbath is going to do so, but a single Ranger Battalion member is going to be running out here and going to be getting some shots off the enemy, but no! He tried to take out Zachary Moe, but was instead gunned down himself. This is not looking good for the 2nd Ranger Battalion, as Bloodbath is now just continuing to advance on all fronts. They have secured the front portion of the Delta objective, and they are now securing the right flank, it seems, or putting pressure on it, as the building also up on the left is receiving pressure as well. Corporal Stone's still up there, along with a few other Germans. Warrant Officer 3 Mendoza providing some MP40 fire from those windows as well. However, the Bloodbath players are now aware of their position and are going to be retaliating very quickly to try and keep those boys suppressed and prevent fire from pouring down on top of them. He's a member of the 2nd RB? No, he's not. There are actually not enough members from the 2nd RB on right now to actually fill out their 32-member roster, so a few of the Bloodbath players have volunteered to take their place and fill out their membership. The rest of the 2nd Ranger Battalion moving up here now, as Warrant Officer 1 Scott and 1st Lieutenant Gary are providing cover fire for Corporal Stone as he moves up with his machine gun. Be more appropriate if he had a stoner. More poetic, I suppose, as Private Ryan covers a stairwell with his MG42. This particular train office being secured still by the Germans. Not many Russian players having made their way into those upper levels, so this is going to be very good for the defenders. As Besker Mando, Nettie Frank, and Baby Teeth continue advancing up to the front, more machine gun fire from Corporal Stone, who is now renewed and re-engaged with the enemy, providing a very effective burst of MG42 fire on the Bloodbath attackers. You Can't See Me and Fast Johnny all experiencing the effects of that very powerful Hitler's buzzsaw that is aimed in their general direction. As First Sergeant Bunch gets shot down by Berger, who is now having to bandage behind this wall. We have Pancake Man, Das Sikorsky, and Hekamiya, along with Soso moving up, attacking the right-hand portion from the German perspective of the defensive line on Delta. A number of 2nd Ranger Battalion members over here defending, hopefully trying to, prevent Bloodbath from actually securing this position away from them. They're going... Oh, this smoke grenade right here is in the perfect spot to provide concealment for both attackers and defenders. That is a lot of Bloodbath players, though. They're going to have a... They're going to come screaming through that smoke very soon. But some grenades and some machine gun fire appear to have stunted the Bloodbath assault. And there are also a number of 2nd Fallschirmjäger members... I keep saying that, I'm very sorry. 2nd Ranger Battalion members around in this particular section as well. Seeming to be this right-hand side seems to be the new actual battle zone for the two teams. Having been stopped in the center by that machine gun fire from those Russian MGs, they are now attempting to take this right flank, probe it for weaknesses, as Mr. Deathstalker and Captain Reynolds are now pushing all the way forward, as a small little group of Ranger Battalion members are putting up a very good defense, keeping the Bloodbath members from moving forward, as 2nd Lieutenant Ashen moves up with an MG, going to be very crucial to preventing further Bloodbath intrusion into that particular territory, as a grenade sends the Germans moving back. BF's Redhawk and Voon retreating to a previous position to get away from that explosive, as we have a number of Bloodbath members pushing forward now. Oldboy Brewhaker and Zachary Moe pushing forward, but getting gunned down by Sergeant Henderson, Sergeant Lobo, and a number of other 2nd Ranger Battalion defenders. This is actually turning around on Bloodbath. They are at a ticket deficit now, 87 to 110. It is going to turn, it seems, in the favor of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. With how this match went initially, this is very surprising. Lag Fairy, Fast Johnny, and Natty Frank are all trying their best, lobbing grenades, putting fire down, and tossing smoke to keep the assault up. But will it be enough? Bloodbath is having some withering fire being brought down upon them by PFC Robbins and a number of other defenders. It is going to be very hard, it seems, to dislodge them. But no, it may have happened already. They have the advantage inside Delta. They have more men than the 2nd Ranger Battalion inside Delta. Will this keep up? They are taking the objective now. That smoke cloud in the center, providing some concealment for the Bloodbath players as they charge in. Oh, but no, they lost it! They lost the advantage. A large amount of Bloodbath players in this right-hand side from the Russian perspective. They are just charging in, trying to get as many men and bodies in that objective as they can to hold off against the defenders, who are now being kept over onto the far side of where the actual objective is. And it seems that they have actually... No! They still have not captured. They still don't have the advantage. They're getting it back again, though. They're capturing it again. It is a massive back-and-forth close-quarters combat session right now, with that smoke providing a fairly important amount of cover for the Russian attackers, as Gunny Motard and Natty Frank and Mr. Death, along with Dr. Von Sock, are going to be setting up very, very quickly, trying to provide some supporting fire against those reinforcing 2nd Ranger Battalion members. Oh, a lot of 2nd Ranger Battalion getting shot down. Oh, but no, there it is! Bloodbath has secured the objective. Almost a very impressive comeback from the 2nd Ranger Battalion, putting up a wonderful fight there. 37 tickets left against 84 from the 2nd Ranger Battalion. 145 points overall for Private Dust, the best member of the Ranger Battalion for this round, and Whiskey Jack 160 for Bloodbath. That was a very intense match, and one that I was very glad to be able to observe and commentate for you all. Now that was... that was crazy. That was very, very close. Very well fought by both teams. 2nd Ranger Battalion definitely had Bloodbath there for a bit, but that smoke cloud and that massive push sent Bloodbath over the edge like they needed, as Mamayev, Barakati, and Traktorny are now the only territories the 2nd Ranger Battalion actually holds. Alright. And it seems the Allies are now going to be attacking Barakati. What map they're going to be attacking, I am unsure of, but we'll see. Great casting. Thank you, I appreciate it, man. We'll see what map it is as soon as it loads in. Still having a bit of a problem with the menu here. Let me go ahead and try and... Oh, there we go. Changing maps anyways. We'll see what map it is as it changes along to the next session and area. Bit of a Rising Storm map there, and it's Commissar's House! They're going to be attacking Commissar's House. Another very dangerous map to attack for the Russians. It's going to be... This is, honestly, in my mind, a very German-sided map when they're defending. The Germans, with their MG-42s, MG-34s, are going to make it very hard for the Russians to assault some of these defensive positions, especially some of those open field approaches to those houses. We'll have to see how the tankers actually do in these battles as well, because, reminder, there are tanks now on this mission, and the tank crews and the AT crews are going to be pre-selected on the actual roster for Bloodbath, and I believe as well for the 2nd Ranger Battalion. So we're going to see some of their best at work here as they fight for control over this territory. The first objective is usually taken very quickly by the attackers, as long as they have a decent rush at the start, but the second objective is going to be very, very hard to take if the defenders have a very good defense. And make sure Mia Great Again 44, I am glad you're enjoying the stream, man. Thank you for following, brother, I appreciate it. But it'll also be down to the tanks that we have here on the map as well to provide some supporting fire and just general reinforcement on the map. And it would seem that the 2nd Ranger Battalion are having some issues keeping their numbers high. They are below 30 members, it seems, at this point. So they're going to have to swap some more people over to their faction on their side. Alright. The most difficult point of this map to take is arguably the last 2 points. Over, I believe, in Delta, I think it is, in the hotel, or in this little back red building over here. If the Germans set up their machine guns and manage to actually... Alright, apparently, according to Blood Malice, they are swapping people over to the 2nd Ranger Battalion side. They have 5 people that have logged off or have had to leave, so they're swapping over 5 from Bloodbath over to the 2nd Ranger Battalion. But yeah, this objective is going to be the hardest to take if they sit on their MGs, but let's ignore that for now, get back to the match, because we have 3, 2, and 1, now 0 seconds until the match starts, as we see the 2nd Ranger Battalion charge out towards those defenses over in Alpha. And we see the Russians, Bloodbath, charging out as well, focusing largely, it seems, on the right side as the T-34 ask for trouble, rolling across those open fields, gunning that engine towards the field defenses. And it seems a number of the German defenders from the 2nd Rangers are going to be countering that charge, as Private Dust from the 2nd Rangers also comes to meet him, or meet the Ask for Trouble in his tank out here. We're going to see an early tank duel. Yes, we may, as machine gun fire pours out from these 2 tanks towards the assaulting soldiers. Alpha and Bravo both being heavily contested now, moving back over to the red Alpha building as Marapsko and Private Salinas are on the opposite side of the same door, waiting for a defender or attacker to come around and try and make their name and face known. The attackers seem to have taken hold of the front flanks of the buildings and are pushing into the inside of the buildings now, though they are being gunned down by the defenders, who have set up outside the windows instead of in the actual room. But it seems the Allies are going to swarm inside Alpha, Bloodbath taking the heavy infantry advantage inside the building. Oh! Very unfortunate team kill between the Lag Fairy and Jeremiah Johnson. Those friendly grenade kills, even in organized matches like this, can still happen. It is unfortunate to see, but it is a very real possibility and inevitability in some ways of these kinds of matches. And we have some artillery coming in here from First Lieutenant Gary, the TL for the German team, dropping down on top of Alpha to try and prevent some of those prevent that from happening. Also, hi Biggie, how you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. As we have the German tank here switching over to Bravo to try and provide some support for that offensive, as the Russians are charging into the cover of heavy smoke in that first little water inlet. I believe that's a water distillery, water plant. I'm not entirely sure what this is, but that first little divot in the ground there, that first little fortification, as the Russian tank is still all the way back behind Alpha. It seems to have respawned back in. Ask for Trouble and Scoutcat Manifesto back there, both moving forward alongside one another. Alright. Going for Gamecasting now, I see. Yep, it's an event tonight, man. If you want to check the Discord, I posted an announcement about it if you're more interested. I'm not going to actually be able to talk very much while this is going on, because I'm going to be focusing on casting for now, but I will try and respond if I get the opportunity. But yeah, so far it seems that Bloodbath is advancing towards the second little divot here in the ground against the defenders, and they are going under the cover of smoke. Baby Teeth and Dr. Von Sock moving forward, but Baby Teeth getting shot in the chest, a heart shot by Private Dimitri. Being some crossfire apparently coming from the A objective area as Dimitri moves forward into the A building himself, advancing on some possible Russian attackers that are still there. As Bravo is being attacked, the majority of players inside now belonging to Bloodbath. You can't see me, indeed being concealed by the smoke as he sits in there taking the objective from the Germans, but he gets blown up by Mr. Death's satchel charge. Oh no, the humanity, as the 2nd Rangers seem to be focused on clustering around this back wall, and they have now captured Bravo, as the 2nd Ranger Battalion are going to have to retreat back to Charlie if they want to stand a chance at defending, as Mendoza is overwhelmed. Oh, and he's shot by Lonely Rose before Smoke is able to actually stab him in the chest. as 2nd Rangers are now flooding into Charlie to try and hold off the enemy. Warrant Officer 1 Scott and Sergeant Saunders, along with Corporal Stone, providing some fire from the side as the enemy tank has been taken out by Natty Frank, presumably, with a satchel charge or an anti-tank grenade, who is now hiding behind the corpse of said tank and is going to be running out to try and get around the defenders. The Allies, the Russians, Bloodbath, have already taken Delta. They've swarmed in there and secured it. Pancake Man, Burger, and along with one other person whose name I did not catch, have both moved in there. Private First Class Baranol are now trying to take aim at those attackers and prevent them from moving forward. As Scooby Booby is over here defending as well alongside the 2nd Ranger Battalion. And we see here as we move into the center of the Charlie objective that PFC Upham, alongside a few other Germans, one of which is taking a little lean back, just gotta sometimes relax in the battle, you know, along with 1st Sergeant Bunch, are going to be defending the front lines, alongside Gandalf the Grey, an admin, I believe, for the Bloodbath servers, who is an AT tanker, or an anti-tank gunner, rather, at the moment. As we see Whiskey Jack and Marapsko moving alongside Stalker up towards the front left-hand side of the objective, as they move into the basement. Now, the basement being a prime territory for fighting on this objective, seeming almost, you could argue, the main territory of fighting, as Whiskey Jack guns down Private Ryan, sticking his head out at the wrong time and wrong place. As PFC Baranol moves forward with a grenade, as Voon provides some supporting fire. Mr. Death charging forward, trying to get in there and deal some damage. Oh, and he runs past 3 2nd Ranger Battalion members and goes around them as well. He just ninja'd his way through everybody as he moves in with his pistol. That was a very powerful move as he provides some fire on some of these reinforcing defenders. Private Ryan moving in, trying to take him out, but no, he is not going to, as he is now bleeding out. Private Dimitri moving in and thankfully taking out Mr. Death. The 2nd Fallschirmjägers removing that little intruder from their defenses, but that could be a sign of something worse that could come, as we see Voon here defending against more Russians that are advancing in, but Voon gets taken down by 86 Rich, who has secured this section of the basement for Bloodbath, as Smoked Prophet moves in. First Sergeant Bunch and Private Selenas are being fired upon by Smoke Prophet, but it seems he got chased away. Also, OG Matt, thanks for following, man. Glad you're enjoying the stream. I'm going to hop out here really quickly and see the front lines. Zachary Moe has pushed up towards the front, and the Allies have actually taken Bravo. Oh man, they are just taking this, they're just moving along right now. They now have to attack Echo right now, though, which is going to be another tough nut to crack. Foxtrot's typically about as easy to capture as Bravo or as Charlie before it. Just a bit of an open field where you can sneak across, as Smoked Prophet and Whiskey Jack and a bunch of other members of Bloodbath advance down this hallway, taking fire from Private Ryan, who's now benching around the corner, who gets taken out by an anti-tank grenade from Dr. Von Sock, as Smoked Prophet moves forward into the back lines of the defenders, aiming towards their spawn, trying to take out some of them as they move up, including Private Selenas and possibly Takum. Oh, Soso takes him out with his artillery, as Russian artillery falls towards the rear of Echo. Alright, Mr. Death coming along and moving into this little storage shed. Bloodbath is officially back behind the lines of the defenders. They are so far forward that their own artillery is falling behind their own soldiers, as 2nd Ranger Battalion are rushing forward to try and stop the assault from Bloodbath. PFC Upman getting blown up by an artillery shell from Soso's call-in. However, some of Bloodbath's own men have suffered from that attack, as Mr. Death moves into the basement of... I believe... No, it's... Oh, they haven't actually captured F. Into the basement of the rear objective. Oh, man, he is just going on a roll right now as he moves to the top floor, I believe. Yes, he is climbing all the way up to the top of these last objective buildings, possibly to try and assert his position or to remove any defenders that may be here. Oh, Warrant Officer 1 Scott gonna get shot in the butt by Mr. Death, taking taking his time to aim at his head and wipe him out, as Mr. Death is now in the rear of the defenders, getting an overwatch on their advance. We're going to watch here as Bloodbath is now advancing over to F, using smoke as cover and those trenches out in the field, as they are taking some fire from the defenders. It seems that they're also on the front wall here, preparing to take the attack to this final position once F is fully secured by their assaulting force. Alright, Sergeant Saunders is going to move forward next to Private Salinas, as Old Boy lies down in a shell crater, as the Allies have now captured F, and H and G are now theirs to take as well if they can push up and move into those positions. Mr. Death possibly still alive inside that building, putting the pressure on the defenders. Gandalf the Grey actually in this area now, watching over that particular zone. Is Mr. Death still alive? Is he still up here? It seems that he is at least not up here at the moment. If he is still alive, he may have gotten killed by the defenders after they were alerted to his position. As Marapsko, Admiral Akbar, and the Pancake Man rush up to that wall, though they're being taken down by Second Lieutenant Ashen, who is providing some very effective covering fire with that MG. Area denial in full effect, it would seem, as he changes his barrel out, with a rather awkward animation, might I add, as artillery and explosives continue to rain down. Private Dimitri and Private Pence were defending the wall behind Lieutenant Ashen, preventing the Bloodbath players from assaulting, though Pancake Man and Admiral Akbar are going to advance to the far right from the German perspective, try and possibly get around their flank. Pancake Man being taken out, so that avenue of attack is being blocked. But oh, a very good grenade from Dasikorsky takes out Private Dimitri as Private Pence is now on his own. Dasikorsky moving up, trying to go ahead and get against that wall. He does manage it. Admiral Akbar following right behind him as more artillery from the German side falls down on the left-hand side of the objective, of the Bloodbath line, excuse me, from the German perspective, putting some area denial as Natty Frank moves up and gets shot. Oh, the Russian tank, actually, it seems, has parked itself out back by this monument platform and is sending shots into the upper-level windows of the H building, possibly trying to knock out some of those machine gunners or riflemen that are up there. Oh, and he manages to get a shot into a window, killing Sergeant Saunders and Sergeant Henderson, wiping them out of the defensive line. As for trouble, oh, and Private Dimitri, oh no! What are you doing? Oh, he just accidentally team-killed about 3 of his own men in the kill feed there with a grenade. As we see here, the German tank as well is setting itself up to prevent some intrusion from Bloodbath. Private Dust wiping out You Can't See Me and providing some fire on those assaulting members, taking out Count Des Moines and the Lag Fairy as Fast Johnny moves up when this guy's attention is distracted. G has not been taken yet. Oh, and Private Dust gets another wonderful triple kill against the attacking Bloodbath members. PFC Red Hawk is moving forward, trying to use that smoke as cover to get further up towards the enemy. Tickets are very close now, 114 to 112. It is neck and neck in terms of reinforcements, as we see here Gandalf the Grey advancing to the left-hand side of the objective zone. Far left side, possibly trying to go ahead and take out some of those advancing Russians. As asked for trouble, the Russian T-34 advances further forward. Gandalf gonna try and... oh wait, he has an AT rifle. Is he gonna manage to get it? Unloading an entire magazine into the side, or into the front of that T-34. Oh, but he gets taken out by Ask for Trouble, who turns his turret just in time to catch Gandalf trying to slink away back behind that wall. As Marapsko rushes forward past Private Salinas and Cash, getting to the side wall of this H building, as Second Lieutenant Ashen moves around to try and possibly spot some of the attackers that are putting their nose in his team's business. Hopping through a wall, coming to the upper levels, he is gonna come back down after not seeing what he wanted to. It's a lot of smoke and haze around here as the Lag Fairy and So-So and a lot of other Russian members are moving up in this massive billowy smoke cloud, concealing their entire front line. Gulf is being secured by the Russians. Bloodbath has gotten an advantage in men over in this particular section, although Private Dust is definitely doing work in that tank. He is now over in the rear left-hand side of the objective, putting some fire down range, and the Russian tank is down. Bloodbath's tank has been destroyed, so that's going to be out of commission for a decent amount of time. Oh, and they've also stopped attacking Gulf. Gulf is no longer under assault by Bloodbath, though Smoke Prophet and Mr. Death are going to try and change that. Smoke Prophet getting killed by a grenade as the Russian tank is now back in action, which is still putting fire back on those upper level buildings and windows in H. 55 tickets now to 85 in favor of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. If Bloodbath doesn't do something very quickly, they might not be able to pull this off. 86 Rich pushing forward as Private Pence and Cash are still on the defensive, along with Warrant Officer 3 Mendoza. Some pistol fire coming in against Private Pence, possibly getting shot, as we have a number of engagements all across the field. Some Russians even, Dasikorsky running across the far right side of the objective, potentially trying to get all the way around the rear of these defenders. Bruhaker also following him, but they're getting shot at. They have been spotted. Sikorsky getting a number of little puffs of bullets flying up around him, and he's now been shot in the hip. He has been hit, and he goes down, being taken down by Takam there in the kill feed. Bruhaker sitting down inside of a trench or a little shell crater, trying to get a good shot off on some of those defenders that are watching him, but he's starting to run again. And the Allies have captured Gulf. Down to 21 tickets, though. Can they make the Russian side? They're pushing as hard as they can, but they're getting gunned down by Second Lieutenant Ashen behind this little shed. Another shot comes flying in towards the defenders from the Russian tank as Private Dust continues his work on his side of the field with his tank. Private Pence moving forward as Second Lieutenant Ashen continues the defense against the Russians. Berger moving forward. Oh, gonna get a melee kill against PFC Krunen, but he gets blown up by a grenade. So that was a very effective melee attack, but not an effective charge at the moment, it seems. We have some more defenders moving in as 9 tickets are left on the attacking side. Let's see here. It's going to end up becoming very close. We have some Russians that are getting into the front, but oh, it seems that the Germans are calling in artillery! Second Ranger battalions are calling in already right on top of the main assaulting lanes for Bloodbath, and with 1 ticket left, it looks like Bloodbath is going to be very unlikely to actually secure this objective. They may have gotten stopped, and yes, their reinforcements are depleted and lockdown timer has started. 325 or 225, 255, 253 now on the countdown timer as Brown Cardboard Box decides to make his final stand by this bombed out Panzer IV, watching for any advancing defenders who are trying to wipe out the remainder of the Bloodbath attacking force. Gandalf the Grey moving forward with his pistol towards that Panzer IV, possibly going to engage Brown Cardboard Box. Has not spotted him yet. Who's going to see who first? Oh, and Brown Cardboard Box gets the kill on Gandalf the Grey, knocking him down into that crater and letting him sit there and rot for the remainder of the battle. As Scooby Booby and the rest of the defenders push forward to try and take out the rest of the attackers, most of which are holed up inside of this building. Marapsko is sitting inside of this bottom window here with his Mosin Negant, feeling the power of Stalin flow through him. As are those are rockets! Soso has called in rockets on the German defenders! A last-ditch effort to try and wipe out some of those defending Germans from the 2nd Rangers. Possibly a fuck it move, even. Getting a few kills, but not as effective as possibly a well-targeted artillery strike, as Natty Frank and Mr. Death moving further forward into this crater, getting some cover from the Germans, but will it be enough? Mr. Death moving even further forward up the defenses. He's done this before. Can he do it again? As Corporal Stone is engaged, he's shot Corporal Stone. Is anyone near enough to actually hear that and respond to it? No, it does not seem so. Satchel charge going out. Oh, but Mr. Death gets taken out by a headshot by Voon. I apologize, I messed up my camera there, but we're back in the action anyways. We're back where we need to be. First Sergeant Bunch moving in to help reinforce the spot that Lieutenant Ashen is defending as the countdown timer goes to 1 minute and 15 seconds. Very few Bloodbath players remaining. As you see here, there is only maybe 1 or 2 members left from their attacking force, and not a whole lot that are left alive as the lockdown timer goes down to 1 minute, and it seems the teams are calling GG as indeed that is it. The match has been lost for Bloodbath, but 2nd Ranger Battalion have successfully made a comeback and defended this rather difficult map to hold on to. Or no, I had a brain fart. Have successfully defended this map after a rather difficult start for their side, and they are going to possibly come back here and take it to Bloodbath in these next few assaults. Alright, and Private Dimitri getting overall 210 points for the 2nd Rangers, and Whiskey Jack with 186 for Bloodbath, being the best players respectively on their side for this round. 31 reinforcements left for the 2nd Rangers, and 0 for Bloodbath. This is going to be a very, very costly victory for both sides. Alrighty, and here we go. Enemy is selecting a territory. Who are they going to vote, or what are they going to vote for? They have Machetka, Steppe, Krasny, North, and West that they can select. We'll have to see what it is that they choose to attack. Will they try and reclaim old territory, or will they go for new land? They are going to go for Krasny. They are going to attack Krasny territory. They are now selecting their map, and what will it be? And we have the Bridges meme spam in the chat here, as as the Bloodbath members are amusing themselves in the intermittents. Oh, and we're going to Red October Factory, boys! Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. Let's see what we can do, or what Bloodbath and the 2nd Rangers can do. If the 2nd Rangers met... Oh. Oh, man. Alrighty. This is going to be another very powerful close quarters fighting game, though it has a number of points where MGs can be extremely useful as well. I believe it's the Echo building near the very end is one of the more difficult points in this map to take. If Bloodbath can make their stand there, they could turn the tide, but they do not have the machine guns from the German side, so it could wind up being a bit more difficult for them to put enough fire down. Though again, they do have PPSHs of a wide variety, so we'll have to see what they can come up with. We spectate the Allies yet again, and we zoom out here. For those of you who are wondering or who are not aware, if I can get out here and orient myself properly. So yes, this is the final objective for the map. This bombed-out factory here. Very, very intense close-quarters fighting. A lot of smoke to be laid down here. It's going to be very dangerous. This building right here, though, is the real meat grinder of the game. This is going to be a complete pain for either side to take or effectively hold. It's going to be interesting to see how this particular point changes the flow of the battle. I've seen games made and broken on this lone building. And we see here as we advance further forward towards the front objective, we're passing more factories and more bombed-out industrial areas of Red October. As we zoom over the front building, a very long production facility, which makes for a nice front line, and a destroyed communal district with a number of wrecked T-34s and other detritus inside the actual spawning area for the Russians to provide some cover, along with a few obvious flanks for the Russians to attack towards. We'll have to see what the general objective or strategy is for either side when it comes to actually securing and holding these objectives. The basement of this first objective building is typically a very important place to either take or hold, as it will prevent the enemy from spawning troops in right underneath your feet. And as we see, here, we do have tanks on both sides. 2 tanks, in fact. And the match is on. 485 tickets for the 2nd Ranger Battalion and 411 for the Bloodbath Defenders. Not a very large ticket advantage. We'll see how that ends up playing as Gunny Motard gets the first blood against 1st Lieutenant Gary from the 2nd Ranger Battalion clan, as both the 2nd Ranger Battalion clan tanks are moving up to the left side. Voon and, I would assume, yes, Dust are both in the tanks there for the 2nd Ranger Battalion, as Skakhat Manifesto, Jeremiah Johnson, and Dusk Sikorsky are mounting a far flank defense against the Russians. And, oh, we have some shots coming out already towards the German tanks, from, let's see who this is. This is, I do not have a name here, but it looks like it's Mr. Death. Mr. Death taking out Voon in his own tank, and boom! There we go. There goes another one of the tanks for the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Already losing one of their vehicles at the very start of this match. Not a good start. But it looks like they are having some more success on the front of an actual attack, as Stalker gets blown up by a grenade, and oh! That artillery from Soso! Knocking out a number of the attackers from the 2nd Ranger Battalion. As we move over here to the right flank from the German perspective, they have had a lot more success securing land over there. Private First Class Werner, Private Pence, Captain Wentz, and another unidentified member have already moved over to the right flank and are securing that for their team. Unfortunately, Captain Wentz was gunned down by Gunny Motard as he made his advance, but Private Pence has actually gotten around to the rear of the enemy, but he has been taken out as well by Old Boy, who was watching and observing those enemies advancing from this position right here. We have here Bruhaker and Smoke Prophet inside the actual building looking at the defenders. Gunny Motard up here on the rafters, or on the catwalk rather, with his machine gun as we hear a tank moving around. It's probably a Russian tank, if I'm assuming. Yes, it is Mr. Death coming around to the other objective area to defend. He's moving inside the factory right now, actually. Right into the center area. If there is an anti-tank gunner, he could have taken a few pot shots, but there does not seem to be. We have an enemy MG, we have a stationary MG by Hekamiya being operated right now, putting down fire into that smoke cloud putting denial against that massive number of 2nd Ranger Battalion members that are moving through that particular spot. It seems they're making a break for the right flank or right section of the defenses, since their initial probing party sensed that there was a weakness there, as PFC Werner gets killed, but he manages to actually secure the detonation on that door if he was the one who planted that bomb there, as these factory doors are now blown wide open, as Mr. Death plants himself on this side of the battle to try and provide some much-needed reinforcements for the worn-out Russian defenders, as a large number of 2nd Ranger Battalion forces are actually sitting here in this smoke cloud, unable to be seen by that tank or the defenders, now moving into the building. Captain Wentz runs right past Dr. Von Spock, but gets killed by Old Boy, as Fast Johnny, So-So, and Gunny Motard are all watching this flank. Private First Class Red Hawk gets gunned down as well, as Private Ryan moves in right next to Mr. Death, trying to possibly surprise him or plant a AT grenade on him. Oh, and there we go! Voon knocking out Mr. Death as he comes out of the smoke cloud unaware of his position. Hot damn! As Scooby Booby, Predator, 922, and Private First Class Werner, along with Private Salinas, waiting here, trying to hold on to this territory. All of them getting knocked out, unfortunately, as Scooby Booby is the only one left alive, as Private First Class Red Hawk moves in to try and reinforce those positions. As we have Mr. Death coming back, launching some shots back, and oh! One shot's Voon! The retaliatory strike from Mr. Death in the T-34, proving very successful. Germans have still not taken Alpha, but it is very heated fighting. Berger and Marapsko holding this basement very well. As Sergeant Henderson actually is in here getting some kills. Oh, Marapsko and Berger are both down. Never mind, we seem to have had a bit of a swing in the enemy's, or excuse me, in the Germans' favor. Sergeant Henderson is moving up, takes out Bruhaker, kills him. The Russians are losing control of the basement. Now kills Zachary Moe. He's moving on a rampage right now, moving into the rear of the defending positions. He's going to the very back, up into this little Overwatch officer or office spot where a foreman might have watched back in the day when this was still a factory, waiting for his team to advance forward and take out any defenders, as You Can't See Me is also gunned down as well. But we have Risky Click here trying to take him out. Will he manage to get the kill? Yes, he will! Risky Click headshot Sergeant Henderson, taking him out of the equation for the moment. As A is now being taken, Baby Teeth defending, moving into the center right of the objective from the Russian perspective. Mr. Death finding himself right in the center of this factory again, as the Germans continue to push forward and try and secure territory. PFC Robbins doing a Rambo move, putting some suppressive fire down to defend PFC Red Hawk and Mendoza's, Warrant Officer Mendoza's advance. Private Pence and Private First Class Upman in the smoke cloud along with Captain Wentz, and the rest of the 2nd Rangers lining up against that wall, possibly waiting for an attack command from their commanding officers, as A is now being secured again for a brief moment by the attackers. Mr. Death still keeping his tank camped out inside this building, as it seems the German tanks are also going to be advancing on the left. Both tanks are over here now, putting some fire down on the Russian reinforcements. A bit of an overhead look here again. It seems that the majority of the 2nd Ranger Battalion are actually up against or near the actual building itself, and are up against the near wall. The defenders at the disadvantage of having to actually run back from their spawn typically into those defensive positions, as we have Corporal Stone, moving in. The Germans seemingly having secured the basement now. Corporal Stone and Private Pence having secured the bottom floor, as the Axis have now captured Alpha. The 2nd Ranger Battalion have successfully captured the first objective, and are now moving in to do the cleanup operation. As we have PFC Kunin here, accidentally killed by PFC Stewart. Oh no, bit of friendly fire there from the 2nd Ranger Battalion. I cannot go through that door, unfortunately, as Private Ryan moves up and Takum moves forward as well. Sergeant Saunders and PFC Upman moving forward, as PFC Werner also moves up. Very early attack, or very forward attack. A bit of a strange animation glitch there with his MG 434, as Smoked Prophet takes him out with his Mosin Nagant. Private Dust moving forward along with Sergeant Sanders. Oh, smoked! Killing Sergeant Saunders, who charged him with an attempt, or the intent of gutting him. Not dying this day, or at least this life, so far. Natty Frank out here on the left flank, trying to watch against the assault from PFC Red Hawk and Private Salinas. It seems that the green factory building over here has some defenders in sight of it. Let's see who's in here. Just Das Sikorsky, it seems, who is defending rather effectively for being a lone soldier, a lone operative over in this particular side of the field. Though more defenders may join him, yeah, it seems Count Des Moines, Bruhaker, and Ask for Trouble are all going to be over here helping defend against the assault. Private Selenas is going to still be there, providing some fire against the defenders, as a German tank, 2nd Ranger Battalion, moves forward and is helping with providing supporting fire against some of the defenders inside Charlie. Seems to have gotten a few kills already as we move forward here. And the left flank, it seems, is very heavily contested by the 2nd Ranger Battalion, PFC Upham, already up against the wall, but getting gunned down by Hekamiya. PFC Werner moving forward as well. Private Cleve moving up into through the smoke or against the smoke. Dr. Von Sock missing out on PFC Werner because of the confusion from the smoke and the fire around him, getting shot in the back by Werner as he lies prone, now up against the wall, as Admiral Akbar alongside Gunny Motar trying to defend this part of the building next to Baby Teeth and Whiskey Jack, near the warmth of this burning train car, as Natty Frank runs in next to said train car with his PPSH and watches for any assaulting troopers from the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Private Dust getting a triple kill over there. Oh, but getting... No, that was Sergeant Lowell that got taken out on the other tank. Private Dust is right here. I have mistaken him for another tank over on the right side. Getting shot at by, I believe, the enemy tank. Yes, Mr. Death, I believe, is still in the enemy... Or, excuse me, in the Russian tank. Firing at him, but that smoke is going to block line of sight, and Charlie now is being taken. They have enough members in the front of the objective to take it. They are now at a ticket deficit, though. The 2nd Ranger Battalion is at 247 to 261 tickets. It is going to be a tough fight. They are now at a they are now less well supplied in terms of reinforcements, as Private Cleve and a number of other 2nd Ranger Battalion members are inside the building trying to stay their ground and hold their ground against the advancing Russian. Sergeant Henderson here along with Captain Wentz. Oh, Captain Wentz accidentally killed Sergeant Henderson with a grenade, who then was killed by Hekamiya. This is very intense close quarters fighting, as First Sergeant Bunch and Private First Class Letsnitsky are soon to find out. Charlie no longer being taken by 2nd Ranger Battalion, as they no longer have the numbers advantage. And Bruhaker and Admiral Akbar are going to move around. A number of grenades going out as Gunny Motard set up his PP-28 right here on these rebars. Charlie now being attacked by the 2nd Ranger Battalion, as they now have the advantage again. PFC Red Hawk and Private Ryan moving up next to Sergeant Henderson over on the left flank, as Gandalf the Grey and Keishi are now set up and by the front windows over on the left, ready to attack, and they have taken the workshop. C has been captured. Now it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. Echo is a complete pain in the ass to take. So we'll have to see how many people or how quickly they can actually secure that objective, as the 2nd Ranger Battalion are rushing forward with both their tanks onto this left side of the objective. Count Des Moines, 86 Richard Stalker also running in. Everyone seems to know that Echo is going to decide this particular section of the map, as Natty Frank moving forward. Very ballsy move here. Crap. That was bad. Alright, sorry about that. As we see that it is still heavily contested. The train yard over to the right of this objective is also going to be very important to the defense of this building. If the 2nd Ranger Battalion can take that, they will definitely have a better time assaulting Echo than if they had not secured that particular portion of the building or of the area. PFC Werner here has already seemingly done that for the 2nd Ranger Battalion with his machine gun, taking out Dr. Von Sock and putting some suppressive fire down on another member of Bloodbath, Jeremiah Johnson, that has moved into the area, as Bruhaker comes around to provide some supporting fire. 2nd Rangers are swarming into Echo right now, along with Bloodbath. It's going to be very, very close and visceral fighting here, as the Lag Fairies gunned down, or killed by a grenade actually from Marapsko, friendly fire, as a number of 2nd Ranger Battalion members are charging in from the front window, surprisingly lightly defended by Bloodbath. Takum is moving into the wash area along with 2nd Lieutenant Ashen, who's set up but gets gunned down by Old Boy, waiting for an attacker. Again, very close quarters fighting here. We'll see who's on the 2nd floor here as Old Boy moves up. It seems that not very many defenders or attackers have yet to advance on the 1st floor, but that's maybe just being this no man's land. No, on the other side as well, if the Russians, if the Bloodbath members complete this part of the map, they could have an advantage over the 2nd Ranger Battalion. And I can't go out that window, dagnabbit. Alright, Burger moving in as well. And the Axis have captured Delta, so it's now only Echo, which they have an advantage in and have started to capture. But no, it's lost. 170 tickets to 169. It is going to be very close still in the ticket count, as Stalker, Dosikorsky, and Zachary Moe all defend the right-hand side of Echo from those bunkers, bomb craters, and burning train cars. The left-hand side of the defensive objective, in the train yard here seem to still be under the control of the 2nd Ranger Battalion, as Ashen has been securing that position in the stead of the previous machine gunner who was here with his own machine gun. As PFC Krunen moves forward, seemingly an engineer, I believe, getting ready to try and either assault or provide some fire against Echo, excuse me. And it seems some artillery is falling on top of Echo and behind Echo as well, both teams seeming to use their explosive potential as attackers to defend against enemy reinforcements. Mr. Death getting a few good kills against some assaulting 2nd Ranger Battalion members as they are getting gunned down by his machine gun. They'll need some smoke out there, or they're going to be in some very big trouble. That is a very good spot for that T-34 to be in. As we have now one of the German tanks moving forward, the other ones seemingly haven't been knocked out back there. Will he be able to take out Mr. Death? It's uncertain at the moment, but he will be able to try and knock out some of those advancing Russian defenders, which he already has, taking out 86 Rich. Moving on to Echo, Count de Moyne has also been knocked out there in that bunker. And they have a lot of smoke now, 2nd Ranger Battalion do. They've blown up something in the front window of Echo, but PFC Stewart, who was moving in to try and get an attack on, is being knocked down by Mr. Death. Frontline defenders ask for trouble. Natty Frank and seemingly the Lag Fairy and Baby Teeth are all in here for Bloodbath, along with So-So, their TL, defending very, very eagerly this front room as 2nd Ranger Battalion are now moving up for another assault. It's now at a ticket deficit of 109 to 136 in favor of Bloodbath. Oh, and Mr. Death gets knocked out by Private Dust. With that tank out of action, they're going to possibly have the option to move forward and get a very nice assault in this building. They're already up against the wall. If they can clear that front row defenders, they can definitely get some serious damage done to the Bloodbath offensive movement. Hop in here quickly and see what's going on as it seems Hekamiya is killed by friendly artillery. A number of defenders being knocked out. First Sergeant Bunch and Lieutenant Ashen getting in the side building. So-So is going to be alive in that corner still. Lieutenant Ashen hasn't seen him. Oh no! Oh, he's no longer alive. Private Ryan got him. Oh, that was so close. 92 tickets to 118 now as Pancake Man watches the stairs, the next crucial part of defense for this building. Oh, but he gets taken down by Private Ryan and Old Boy as well. Natty Frank getting taken down after a successful attempt at taking out some of those other attackers. Sergeant Saunders in there now, but he gets wounded as well. He is now bleeding out on the floor. Baby Teeth as well watching the front line objective of this PPSH, waiting for some defenders to come down and assist him as attackers keep pouring in those front windows. The attacks seem to have stopped or slowed for now as the 2nd Ranger Battalion ready for another wave, which are going to send in right now. Warrant Officer 1 Scott leading the way, who gets gunned down by Marapsko. Warrant Officer 3 Mendoza getting shot by Baby Teeth as the rest of the squad here stays and waits, possibly for either an explosive or another opportunity to move in and take care of some of those enemies, as those grenades are going to prove somewhat effective, but not as effective as they need to be, dislodging those defenders. As Scott Cat Manifesto moves forward as a hero, tossing some grenades around, trying to kill off some of those attackers, getting gunned down himself by 1st Sergeant Bunch as more 2nd Ranger Battalion members rush in. Dr. Von Sock getting a satchel charge out there. They don't notice that. That's going to be very bad for them. That's going to go off in... Oh! Oh my god! Dr. Von Sock getting a quad kill, possibly even a quintuple kill on the attacking members of the 2nd Ranger Battalion against that wall. Tickets are now 53 to 90. Still very close as the attack still keeps coming on the basement floor, on the bottom level of this area, of this building. Jeremiah Johnson running out to the left of the objective area with a satchel charge, chucking it out there against the enemy with tank rounds flying out, but oh! You Can't See Me knocks out Private Dust, the German anti-tank gunner, doing his work very effectively as Mr. Death moves forward. The Bloodbath members seem to have taken, or at least contested, this particular part of the defensive line, taking back this train yard from the 2nd Ranger Battalion, which was secured by them earlier in the match. 2nd Ranger Battalion now at a very large ticket deficit, 27 to 72. This is going to be very close here still as Warrant Officer 1 Scott moves forward, providing some fire against those defenders over in the train yard, but getting shot himself by Natty Frank as he pops out of the doorway next to Marapsko. Marapsko himself throwing some AT grenades, but accidentally getting gunned down by Beskermando, getting a nut shot actually from Beskermando as he sits here with his dinner plate, watching the assaulting enemies. Zachary Moe spawning in next to Old Boy and Fast Johnny as the lockdown timer comes in and the tank starts to roll forward. 4 tickets left for the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Seemingly the Russians are now going to start pushing forward and engaging the enemy directly. Oh, and Mr. Death gets annihilated by either a tank or an anti-tank gunner. As we see here, they are now the attackers are now out of tickets. 2nd Ranger Battalion are now no longer able to reinforce their operatives, and Bloodbath only has 54, now 49 left. 2 minutes and 28 seconds remaining on the lockdown timer as Ask for Trouble moves up, engages Private Cleve, guns him down, and moves towards Warrant Officer 1 Scott, but gets shot himself by another member of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Echo, like I said, was the point that made or broke this game, and it seems that this time it made it for Bloodbath and broke it for the 2nd Ranger Battalion. And as we see here, we have one of the last tanks remaining, if possibly not the last tank remaining, for the 2nd Ranger Battalion, watching and waiting for some of these Bloodbath defenders to come and try and take his life. Private Dusk getting a triple kill on Only Rose, 90 Frank, and Soso at the front window of Echo as, oh, Mr. Death rolls forward in his T-34 on a hunt for that Panzer IV. Seemingly landing one shot into the Panzer IV already. It's going to be close. Who will get the kill? Mr. Death taking a number of losses already, losing one of his troops. Oh, and Mr. Death goes down! The Panzer IV is still alive! Scottcat Manifesto watching from the train area as Ask for Trouble moves forward. Fast Johnny watching next to Scottcat Manifesto. Risky Click moving forward as well. There are not a lot of members left alive on the team for 2nd Ranger Battalion, aside from possibly their tank. And as we'll see here, it might not be enough as Ask for Trouble moves in with a tank grenade, blowing up the tank. Private Dust is down with Ask for Trouble's attack, and that could very well be it as the lockdown timer goes down to 1 minute. And it seems the last remaining members of the 2nd Ranger Battalion are over here on this far side of the objective zone, being hunted down by Dust, Sikorsky, and Brown Cardboard Box, as Keish seems to be the only person left alive as Takum gets gunned down, and Gandalf the Grey is also alive somewhere, it seems, in a tank. 40 seconds left on the lockdown timer, now 41. Nope, down to 40, now 39. -1 tickets. Captain Reynolds, oh, gets taken down. Ouch. All right. And down to 18 tickets on the Allied side as well. No matter, no matter who ends up winning, it's going to be a very devastating loss in terms of combat power and future tickets for both of these sides as Mr. Death rolls in again and Gandalf finally gets wiped out. Let's watch here, try and find the last few members of the German team. I think it's Keish, if I remember properly. We'll see if he dies in the last few seconds of the match, but it seems he will not actually, as I couldn't find him. And there's the lockdown, and it will be a victory for Bloodbath, a successful defense of Echo, winning them the match, and proceeding to push the campaign back in the other direction. First Sergeant Bunch being the best member of the 2nd Ranger Battalion team, with 231 points overall, with and alongside Hekamiya as the #1 team member for the Bloodbath forces, with 195 overall points, 30 and 14 kills to each of them respectively. And we'll see here now what team and what faction is decided by the Bloodbath forces. Alright, so they're going to be selecting enemy territory. They have Barakati, Traktorny, or Mamaev to go ahead and attack now. It's going to be Barakati, it seems, is going to be targeted. Mamaev receiving 1 vote. Was intense. That was very intense. This match is very close. And it seems that Barakati Factory is going to be voted for. And we're going there next, as Commissar's House receives 0 votes. Not too surprising, considering the last result that they got at Commissar's House. Okay. So, Bloodbath is down to 140 combat power, but the 2nd Rangers are down to 76. So the 2nd Rangers are almost at less than, or a little over half, have a little over half as much combat power as Bloodbath does right now. Whoever's rude to know. Oh yeah. Also, Brewhaker over on YouTube is streaming from his perspective as a frontline, boots-on-the-ground soldier. If you want to find him, just go to youtube.com/Brewhaker, or I don't know what the actual URL for his channel would be. But he is live streaming, I believe, possibly over on Twitch or YouTube, I'm not entirely certain, his perspective in the fight. So if you're interested in watching a member of Bloodbath fight alongside his comrades for Russia, then you should go check him out as well, while I maintain my eye-in-the-sky perspective. Alright. Now, this map, if this is the map that I'm thinking of... Oh, God! Oh! Alright, so for those of you who are not familiar with this map, this is a custom map. This custom map is a complete and utter clusterfuck. I can see why they chose to attack Commissar's house over this place before on the map rotation. Okay, so this place is basically a massive industrial factory that, that is going to be attacked by the Bloodbath members. It is multi-tier, 3 to 4 floors, has a number of different rooms. It is extremely cramped and confusing inside here. If you can already tell from me just zooming around inside the level, it is going to be an absolute nightmare. Shots can come from your left, from your right, from above you, from below you, from behind and in front. No matter where you are on this mission and on this level, you should not feel safe. I sincerely believe that. This is these points right here are generally where these points are going to be annihilated. Or where points in terms of reinforcements are going to be annihilated. If we zoom out here as well, we can go ahead and look at the rest of the facility they're going to have to attack. They're going to have to push all the way back through this massive foundry towards the rear area here, which is where I believe they have a rail yard that they have to defend. A number of defensive trenches being built here already, but this is typically the last spot that you actually see attackers and defenders fight, though there is also an external defensive fortification out at the very rear. We'll have to see if it actually gets back there, but now we'll have to see if as we zoom back, we'll be able to get in on some of the action as Bloodbath and the 2nd Fallschirmjäger go ahead and engage one another already. Skakat Manifesto moving forward with Marapsko and Smoked Prophet. Oh, Marapsko being the first person to die here. You can't see me being gunned down as well by the defenders of 2nd Ranger Battalion. I'm not sure where their defenses actually are. One of them being taken down already up there on the catwalks as Captain Wentz moves up, I believe, to defend there as well. The front entryway is being defended very, very strongly by the 2nd Ranger Battalion. PFC Red Hawk, it seems, is going to be attacking or doing the most defense right now with his grenades. Let's see. Tackham and Ward Officer 3 Mendoza are also here watching the front entryway as Private Dust and Private First Class Upham along with Booby Booby are watching the left entrance. Besker Mando and Whiskey Jack along with the Lag Fairy are moving in as well to try and get a foothold in there as they spawn in on Whiskey Jack, one of the squad leaders, don't know for what squad, but Count de Moines being the only person left alive from that attack as they have a number of defenders inside these bottom territories. Predator 922 and Private Ryan both getting a kill, but that satchel charge pushing them out of their defensive zones. It seems that Private Ryan's going to die there in the kill feed, but Predator might still be alive watching that assault entrance for the attacking Russians. After that satchel charge goes off, who is going to come in first? Count de Moines, followed by You Can't See Me, Smoke Prophet, and Skakat Manifesto. It seems that Predator's going to get killed. Not a single one of the Russian attackers getting knocked out. It seems that Ska's going to take his MKB as well, pushing forward up these foundry steps towards the rear of the defending line as Smoke Prophet engages Gandalf the Grey but gets gunned down. Who else is going to move forward? Skakat is going to keep fire going down with his MKB, possibly doing some damage. He's going to take out first Lieutenant Gary, and it seems the Russians are going to take Objective Alpha fairly quickly here. Both forces having combat power or having reinforcements below 300 at this point. 246 for the 2nd Ranger Battalion and 280 for Bloodbath. As we see Lesninsky here, First Class Lesninsky, engaging with his Gewehr, but he gets shot, unfortunately, by a Ska with his MKB as the Lag Fairy runs up past his previous position, showing how overrun the German defenders are at the moment as they move on towards Bravo. And speaking of Bravo, let's head over there right now as we see the Lag Fairy stopping to reload in a little locked-off room. Can we get to this window? No, we can't, but we can see some of the German defenders that are lining up as we move out further into the other areas of the foundry to get a better look on the defending positions. Back in Bravo, we see here Sergeant Saunders charging around on top of the catwalks above this foundry, or top of this industrial machinery, providing some fire on some of the attacking members as Smoke Prophet charges in. Unfortunately, not being seen, actually, not unfortunately for anybody really, aside from the defenders. Smoked being concealed by smoke, very appropriate for his name. I accidentally went on the map. Now, I will note, I am not very familiar with this map personally. It's not one that I've played very often, so I don't know all that much about the way or the flow of the match. All I know is that it is an absolute madhouse. Natty Frank being gunned down by Private Ryan. I'm not seeing many defenders right now. Where are they? I don't know where anybody is. Oh, jeez. Alright, we have Tackham and Private First Class Upman, or Upham. Upham's going to move out here towards the other foundry machinery again. He's going to try and keep an eye for any attacking Russians. Let's look in the bottom floor, see if there's any Russians down there. Some hitboxes on that little machinery, but oh well. Stalker and Kentucky Legend are down here. Stalker getting killed by Tackham. Private Ryan moving out as well. Oh, and Tackham gets Kentucky Legend from behind, it seems. He's up here in this little doorway overwatching that particular section of this point, of the Bravo point. And the Germans are actually attacking Alpha again. The 2nd Ranger Battalion is going to try and launch an attack against Alpha, or at least have more men over here. And they are attacking again as the Allies are attacking Bravo. Will they be able to capture Alpha before the Allies attack or capture Bravo? More than likely not, considering the attack and capture rates for both sides on these types, or in this game mode. But we'll see. Bravo is being secured as the Russians keep moving in. Defenders mostly on the upper catwalks. They need to get down below into those trench lines and amongst the machinery. Lonely Rose moving up towards the top of the catwalks, actually, running past one of the German defenders and almost taking out Letninsky, actually shooting him in the butt, knocking him out as Predator 922 guns him down near the stairwell, as Captain Reynolds and Hekamiya are both there guarding against any enemy defenders, as Predator 922 is still alive, gunning down more and more members of Bloodbath as they try and rush up past him, as PFC Baranol is moving up as well. We have multiple grenades and explosives coming out as we move on to the C objective, which is the back train yard, as First Sergeant Bunch, First Lieutenant Gary, PFC Letninsky, Corporal Stone, and Sergeant Lobo are going to be the primary defenders that I've spotted so far that are there, although it seems that Bloodbath is already popping smoke and moving into the defensive, or offensive positions rather, to attack this zone. Now then, we'll see here, we have a push on the left flank, it seems, with some smoke. Best Commando getting gunned down by Corporal Stone. They noticed that smoke on the left side was not enough to actually get a surprise flank on the defenders. They're going to have to put some men over here, though, to keep that from happening again in the future. Alright. Private Cleve is watching as well from the center of C as PFC Kunin gets gunned down. Recruit Favorito is moving forward, but gets gunned down by Lonely Rose, who gets shot by Captain Wentz, who gets gunned down himself by Mr. Death as PFC Baranal spawns in, as we have some more Bloodbath members pushing in. Mr. Death moving underneath the walkways, trying to get around these defenders, as we see one of them was previously occupying this zone, as PFC Robbins is going to get moving up behind First Lieutenant Gary and PFC Werner. If Mr. Death gets a hold of these guys while he's behind them, it'll be very bad for them. I don't know where he went, though. He possibly disappeared and went to another zone. He seems to have disappeared. Oh, no, he's set up Overwatch in this office here. He's looking over on the defenders. If they don't launch him, if they don't get him out of this position, it's going to be very, very bad for the Germans. He has complete overwatch on part of their trench line and a significant portion of their defenses. Let's see if he gets any kills here pretty quickly, as the Russians seemingly are pushing steadily into C, into Charlie, and taking it, though the ticket count is still very, very close. Alright, 153 tickets to 146. The Allies are definitely on the bottom of the ticket count as they are still pushing forward. The Russian tactic of throw enough bodies at it and they'll win is definitely proving to be correct, as they have a report here from the TL Bloodmouth saying that the 2nd Ranger Battalion are experiencing a lot of heavy drinking on their side of the battle, seemingly enjoying themselves quite a bit in their scrimmage against Bloodbath, as Charlie is being secured by the forces from Bloodbath very handily. Alright, Rapsco, Whiskey Jack, and 86 Rich are moving up along with Zachary Moe, but oh, Zachary Moe gets blown up by his own friendly Artie, as Delta now is the only objective that's actually going to be in place to hold for the defenders, as Sergeant Lobo and First Sergeant Bunch are moving into the defensive positions to try and defend, but there is some fire coming in from You Can't See Me, Pancake Man, and Besker Mando, who are in top of this little I guess repair station here, repair building, putting down some withering fire from machine guns and automatic or semi-automatic rifles against the enemy, preventing them from getting a solid line of defenders in those trenches and in that building. PFC Upham moving around the the front side of the defenses, possibly looking towards some... Oh yes! The Russians! The Bloodbath have actually snuck around the entire far right flank of the German team. They have Kentucky Legend and Dr. Von Sock over here, along with Hekamiya, watching the defenders try and reinforce Delta, as it seems the majority of the defenders for the 2nd 2nd Ranger Battalion are over on the right and center. Very few over on the left. This is going to be a very, very good tactical victory for the Russians, as PFC Werner is on top of Delta trying to heal himself as more and more Russians pour into this building from the left-hand side. Dr. Von Sock is in the bottom of this building here trying to get a solid attack on it, or at least hold it for his team, with a PPSH gunning down some of those reinforcing defenders. And the Allies are now attacking Delta. They have the numbers advantage. They are going to be swarming in there. PFC Werner, the only member of the 2nd Ranger Battalion, is going to be on top, and Hekamiya guns him down, securing that central building for Bloodbath, as OG Matt and the rest of the 2nd Ranger Battalion try and push forward and dislodge the attackers from Bloodbath, with some grenades and smoke popping off inside that building, though it looks like Bloodbath is going to hold on to it and secure the victory here. Private Salon is trying to move in and be a hero, getting a kill against 86 Rich and Count Des Moines, lying down to try and watch against the attackers. Unfortunately, it is not going to be enough, as Brewhaker and a number of other attacking Bloodbath forces inside Delta secure the victory for Bloodbath and dislodge this territory from the Germans. 58 reinforcements to 102 reinforcements in favor of Bloodbath. Best members of the team are Private Pence for 2nd Ranger Battalion with 107 overall points, and Whiskey Jack for the Bloodbath forces with 150 overall points on the Russian side. This was another very intense and close game. Alrighty. And again, this is not a very competitive match, it's mostly just for fun, but it is taken seriously by both sides in that they want to actually play tactically, strategically, and, you know, have a more intense experience. And now we have the only two territories owned by the 2nd Rangers, being Mamayev and Traktorny. Seemingly Mamayev is going to be what the Russian team is going to be going for next. I'll go ahead and inspect the allies again. So it seems that Mamayev is indeed going to be selected by the Allies, which includes Mamayev Kurgan and Rakovice. And it seems that Mamayev Kurgan is going to be selected, with 3 votes going towards it instead of Rakovice, now 4, now 5. So it seems indeed that there is going to be a almost unanimous decision. Nope, now 4 to 2. Seems Mamayev Kurgan is actually going to be assaulted by the Russians, by Bloodbath, instead of Rakovice. And we go to the map change now, and wait and see how things progress in this particular battle. Now, as you may note, it is swinging heavily in favor of Bloodbath, but as we have seen, the 2nd Ranger Battalion can put up very, very good fights. It is definitely they are definitely capable of stopping Bloodbath if they get a good hold of their territory. And Mamayev is definitely a place that you can get a good hold of your territory in. It's more close-range fighting mixed with long-range bombardment of machine guns and possibly even tanks, most of which is focused around trench lines and craters on a vast frozen hellscape, with 2 main defensive bunkers, bombed-out defensive bunkers, being the center point of a few defensive objectives, and the rest of them being focused around sprawling and spidery trench lines, spotted with artillery shells and destroyed buildings. You can see here on the overall layout of the map, there are 3 defensive trench lines that they have to reach before they get to the actual bunkers, followed by 2 more defensive trench lines. And we'll see here very soon how the match goes. I asked the team members, the team leaders of both sides some questions before the match started, one of which was, what do you think will be your key to victory? The Bloodbath team leader responded with the opinion that his team will be led to victory due to their extensive experience in the game and their own personal skill, citing the fact that while he is in control of his team as the team leader, he does not believe that he actually needs to do that much leading of his team to actually successfully bring his forces to victory. That they know what to do and when to do it, and they will do what they need to do. When asked what the 2nd Ranger Battalion believe would be their key to victory, they said that they would rely mostly on their experience in skirmishes and their ability to respond tactically and cohesively and coherently to any responses. And we now get into the final few seconds of spawning as we look at the small camp of attackers for the Russians, with a dead horse there in the center and a destroyed car, as we get to 6, 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And here we go. We already have the start of the match with Old Boy, no, not Old Boy, ask for trouble again in the tank as the rest of the Russians move out. A large wave of Russian soldiers, conscripts possibly moving forward towards those first few lines. This is a death trap, an absolute machine gun mowing field for the Germans especially, considering they have the MG-42s and the MG-34s. This is Stalingrad! Stalingrad! The name of our glorious leader! Bester calling out the intro for the Russians there in admin chat as Sergeant Lobo hides behind this blown-out T-34 but gets killed by Dr. Von Sock as Stalker and Berger move forward along with Risky Click towards the front of these trench lines in front of Alpha. We have also PFC Robbins here trying to defend Alpha along with First Sergeant Bunch and a few other defenders, but Alpha is going to be already contested by Bloodbath as Baby Teeth and Lonely Rose move further forward along with a large portion of the attackers under the cover of this smoke cloud. Risky Clicking and Predator 922 along with Berger and Beskermando being the primary examples of members in that section, but Predator 922 being killed by Marapsko, trying to defend those bottom bunkers from the attackers and their infiltration possibly into those zones as Warrant Officer Mendoza, Takam, and a number of other defenders move into the rear of those lines, of those trenches, to try and hold off the ensuing assault from these trench lines and to slow the Bloodbath attack. 333 tickets for the 2nd Ranger Battalion to 380 for the Bloodbath forces, as Private Cleve and OG Matt here are watching the enemies move forward, possibly trying to get some defenses on. Sergeant Lobo pulling back as well as Pie Slicer brings up the rear. The last member of this group that was trying to retreat got shot in the back and is now, unfortunately, unable to attend the defensive fortifications. As Recruit Favorito is watching for enemy troops, as Sekamiya is taking fire from the enemy tank, or rather the 2nd Ranger Battalion tank back here, which is being shot at by the Russian tank. It has been spotted, is now pulling back into the cover of this hillside. As we zoom up here, Old Boy's artillery coming down and hitting the Germans hard. It's going to be popping right on top of some of their defensive fortifications, knocking off some of their reinforcements as well, as the overhead view shows that the Russians are already assaulting the front line of this barbed wire trench, as that destroyed Panzer IV is providing some cover for those Germans in the back line trenches, but the Russians are going to start pushing in en masse and are going to secure some of the front line territories, as that allied Russian tank is going to be providing even more fire, keeping the German tank suppressed and now destroyed. Private Ryan is down. He has been knocked out officially. Natty Frank, Lag Ferry, and Risky Click are going to be moving in to the trench line to secure Bravo, clearing out any other defenders. Warrant Officer Mendoza being killed by Natty Frank, as Predator 922 moves up, possibly being shot by Natty Frank as well. Yes, he is gunned down, but Natty Frank himself is going to be shot by 2nd Lieutenant Ashen, who is going to be back towards the rear defensive line, I believe. I have not seen him otherwise. As we see here, Gandalf the Grey is going to be trying to retreat as well back to the defensive line against the oncoming German horde, but he's going to be killed by Whiskey Jack, a headshot, as Corporal Stone and First Sergeant Bunch try and get in a position to try and stop this push over on the right flank to try and counter Baby Teeth, Lonely Rose, and You Can't See Me. Corporal Stone being killed by Lonely Rose, and it seems now that the First Sergeant Bunch as well has been eliminated. A very, very strong start for Bloodbath. Charlie is being held rather effectively so far. Bloodbath is closing in, but they are being held back by concentrated fire from the German lines. Predator 922 is taking out Fast Johnny from behind. 86 Rich and Soso, along with Hekamiya, are trying to get into the flank trenches, but they are possibly going to be stopped by some of the other defenders. Brown Cardboard Box, Mr. Death, and Das Sikorsky, along with Captain Reynolds, are going to get in the far flank. If they don't get spotted by the other soldiers over here for the 2nd Ranger Battalion, they're going to have some very, very easy times getting into this spot. But Mr. Death is gunned down by Private Dust. And if the tank spots you, that means the rest of the team's probably going to spot you as well. And they're not going to have very much luck possibly getting in here. Sergeant Lobo and Pie Slicer are both back here getting hit by explosive fire as they try and get back in a defensive position, as Lag Ferry and Marapsko are going to be getting some long-range firing against Pie Slicer and the defenders over on this particular side of the bunker. We have Scottcat Manifesto and You Can't See Me getting very close, along with the rest of the Bloodbath, to the actual bunker itself. You Can't See Me actually getting right up against the wall. Getting shot by Corporal Stone, though, who is, I believe, let's see, I can't see him. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere, though. Warrant Officer Mendoza is spotting a lot of the Russian attackers over on the left flank. It seems that the 2nd Ranger Battalion, rather, is going to have a hard time holding on to the center of this actual defensive bunker because there are not a lot of guys in here, and the Russians are on top of it now, chucking grenades in. A number of Bloodbath players now right next to those walls, just pummeling them with pocket artillery, wiping them out and securing that fortification for themselves. Now moving into the tunnels behind the objective and attempting to attack through the back fortifications. Being blocked so far by PFC Redhawk, who has killed a number of their men, but Burger is running in with a grenade. He's going to chuck it in there to try and draw him out, which it does, kills 2 of them. Sergeant Saunders is back there as well. A very effective explosive ordnance placement by the Bloodbath player there. On to Objective Delta as PFC Redhawk and the rest of the defenders are moving back along with OG Matt as the Bloodbath forces continue their advance. A number of the defenders are staying behind to try and provide a bit of supporting fire for the retreating forces and possibly stall the Bloodbath advance once again. PFC Krunen, PFC Baranal, and 2nd Lieutenant Ashen are going to be back there as well. Ooh, and Private Dust knocks out Baby Teeth with a very nice shot from his tank all the way back there onto that bunker. We have RO Dr. Von Socken up again into the smoke, trying to get past those defenders and get towards the objective. It seems he is going to succeed, killing Private Selenas with a shot to the back as he was trying to take out Kentucky Legend and Burger, who are going to be moving up alongside Mr. Death to the far right. Sergeant Lobo and Sergeant Saunders, along with a number of other defenders for the 2nd Ranger Battalion, are going to be moving up as well to try and reinforce those French lines alongside 1st Lieutenant Gary and PFC Upham. Seems Cash and a few other members of the defense are already there. Not a lot of Bloodbath members moving up so far. Mostly seem to be gathering around that bunker or moving along the far left flank. Far left flank is going to be the main assaulting point, it seems, for Bloodbath. You might want to try and shift some of those defenders over from the front and center side for the 2nd Ranger Battalion, or else they're going to have some difficulty holding onto that territory. Their tank, though, is putting on some fire, but oh! Private Dust accidentally team kills 1st Lieutenant Gary, as Dosikorsky, Mr. Death, and a number of other Bloodbath players are caught out in the open with only a little rise in the snow to protect them from the wrath of that Panzer IV and the other surrounding German soldiers. They are pinned down and out of action for the moment, effectively. But we'll have to see if they can free themselves as Mr. Death makes a break for it. Oh, he's been gunned down, though, by Private Dust. Not getting past him, it seems. As we move over to the other places of the battlefield, it seems that Delta is being taken now by the Bloodbath forces. Seemingly the right flank now has been swept into by Lonely Rose, You Can't See Me, and Count Des Moines, securing that part of the fortification as Lonely Rose moves forward. We also have Gandalf the Grey moving up to try and take out some of those attackers. He has, it seems, a sniper rifle. He's the marksman, one of the marksmen for the German faction, as the 2nd Rangers are currently being confined to these rear defensive lines next to these AA positions and their tank, putting some fire down on the enemy, but not unfortunately being able to defend Delta as it is taken onto their last objective now in Echo, with a number of tickets remaining, 189 for the actual 2nd Ranger Battalion team and 260 for the Allies, the Bloodbath team, 180 now for the 2nd Ranger Battalion, as the rest of the teams continue advancing forward. Both teams keep doing their best to win this battle. The 2nd Ranger Battalion tank is maintaining its position, Mr. Death moving forward into a little shell crater there, as Blisker Manda moves up behind him. Admiral Akbar moves forward, getting some shots off next to Dr. Von Sock, as we have 1st Sergeant Bunch and another unidentified soldier getting gunned down next to Cash, as we have a very intense fight for the final objective now. This might be where the 2nd Ranger Battalion holds them off, because they have a number of men actually on the defensive point, but it seems like Bloodbath is putting all their eggs in the flanking basket again, with a number of their soldiers flanking all the way around the far right side of the objective, trying to get into those side defenses unbeknownst to the enemy. We'll have to see if that pays off for them, as the 2nd Ranger Battalion is seemingly focused and distracted entirely on the front and left objective sides. And it seems that they're going to, yes, successfully get at least up to those defenses, if not into them, as Burger and Lonely Rose advance even further into the objective zone, right behind the enemy. Oh, I don't know if that was scripted or not, I don't think it was, but an artillery strike almost killing Burger, possibly friendly, as Lonely Rose hops into the trenches next to Burger, getting in behind the enemy. So yes, there are Bloodbath forces inside the enemy defensive lines now, at least one, as Old Boy's artillery starts to rain in, accidentally killing a number of friendly targets, including Mr. Death. And we see a frontline assault against Sergeant Saunders and PFC Redhawk by Bloodbath, getting a number of kills, but unfortunately not actually getting any damage done. Those are apparently rockets. I misspoke, it seems. Alright. And the enemy tank, or the German tank here, is still doing its work. Gunny Motard moving up alongside Captain Reynolds and Stalker along with Old Boy. They're moving up on the left flank now. The right flank was stopped, or at least stunted, No, it's secured. It's been secured. The right flank has been taken by Bloodbath, and the left flank is definitely being pushed on now. That enemy tank is going to have some infantry support. It's going to get knocked out very quickly, and Echo is being taken very rapidly, so it seems that this will go ahead and be it, with Bloodbath going ahead and winning on Mamayev Kurgan, with 145 tickets remaining for the 2nd Ranger Battalion and 203 remaining for Bloodbath. Also, I've just been alerted that some of the TWI staff are watching the stream now, so thank you guys for making a fantastic game and showing interest in the community. You all are wonderful people, and we appreciate you supporting the game and the community for so long after you made it. Alright, and also, for those of you who are not aware, the last 2 zones have Mishkova and Bridges as the defensive zones. Bloodbath has Bridges, the Germans have Mishkova. This last territory is going to be a Mishkova assault on Traktorny. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the 2nd can do on this map. As anyone who's played a significant number of hours in RO2 knows, Mishkova and Bridges are both some of the hardest maps to attack in the game, especially against a team that has MG42s and MG34s as part of its standard armament. So it'll be very interesting to see what Bloodbath can do once we get into the actual meat of this match. As you see the statue of Lenin there in the town square of the rear territory. Okay. Let's see if we can stop that A. That it definitely can. I have seen plenty of matches where Mishkova has not progressed beyond the very first objective. It can be a nightmare to attack against an experienced team. I've been on the receiving end of that a multitude of times. As we swap back over here and look at the surrounding battlefield, it is a vast open expanse with very little cover approaching the town where the defenders are going to be holding on to their territory from. There's going to have to be a lot of smoke and a lot of flanking done by Bloodbath to be able to have a hope and a chance of actually getting into this territory and securing it for their team. I believe they actually might have a tank as well, but I'm not certain. That might not be this version that they're using. But, in any case, yes, I can remember at least probably 3 or 4 times where I have never been able to actually advance past this particular wall or border here. Especially playing as the Russians. Those MG42s, Hitler's buzzsaw, can definitely lay into you and send you reeling if you let it. But yeah, I would say that Bloodbath's best chance is flanking around the right side here, getting around towards these bombed-out buildings right here, or even going and attacking Bravo and securing that building and that objective, and then assaulting from the flank of Bravo, trying to push in from the left side of the objective, sweeping the town, and providing a little bit of defense. Also, it seems the numbers are a little uneven on the teams right now. If you look, it's 27 defending to 34 attacking for Bloodbath. I keep saying the 2nd Fallschirmjäger, that's a mistake. The 2nd Ranger Battalion seemingly having a problem maintaining a decent number of troops, unfortunately. But we're still all having fun regardless, it seems. So let's go ahead and get started into the first attack wave of the objective area on the map. Apparently the team count is bugged, never mind. And we have a scripted artillery strike almost killing You Can't See Me in the lag ferry as they move up into the objective area. PSC Robbins, oh, but the first kill, oh no, first blood is a team kill from Only Rose. Oh, the humanity. As the shots rain down upon the enemy. Mr. Death already in the center. This is a massively successful first attack wave for Bloodbath. If they can hold on to this. Some grenades flying out into this little smoke cloud, though. A satchel charge also going out and right on top of Mr. Death. But one being thrown in return! Oh, the war of the satchels. We'll have to see if Bloodbath can actually make use of this early success that they've achieved for themselves. That smoke is right on top of the defender, so it's going to be perfect for blocking their line of sight and moving forward into the objective. And it seems like they will. Bloodbath is already securing Bravo, and it seems they've taken out a lot of the defenders in Alpha at the moment. Stalker himself sitting behind this building in a smoke cloud as Dr. Von Sock sits next to him. with artillery coming in right behind Alpha, it's going to be very hard now for the Germans to reinforce this position, as we have PFC Werner and Sergeant Lobo sitting back in the rear lines. Sergeant Lobo getting killed by a shot to the back of the head as PFC Werner gets down as well. Cash and Risky Click both sitting right next to each other with a grenade getting thrown around the corner, with possibly death or deadly consequences for Risky Click if he does not move. Oh, yep, no, there we go. He gets killed by, artillery! Private Pence! I think that was a Satchel Charger artillery, but it just team killed a shitload of people. Oh, the drinking on the side of the 2nd Ranger Battalion is definitely starting to show. That was a bad team kill. It looks like it is artillery, though, and it is being called down on top of a lot of enemy soldiers. But Soso's artillery as well is coming down, and it's knocking out a fair number of the defenders. Alpha's being secured at the same rate as Bravo, but the attackers for Bloodbath are being knocked back by that artillery. Even if their machine guns aren't doing much for them right now, those high explosive shells are. Zachary Moe and Captain Reynolds, along with Scott Cat Manifesto and Rapsco, are holding the front line attack for Bloodbath, along with Dr. Von Socken now reinforcing Soso, the TL, as the 2nd Ranger Battalion are moving to defend Bravo, it seems. A fair number of their men moving into attack or defend Alpha, but being blocked by that artillery from Soso. Same situation for Bloodbath, it would seem, though You Can't See Me and Kentucky Legend are indeed making it to the front lines regardless. The Alpha objective is being captured, though it seems. It's going to go down to the Bloodbath side very quickly, and Bravo as well is going to be contested heavily. They're going to have to hold on to Alpha, though. They're going to have to keep men in here, because if Alpha gets captured again, it's going to be very hard for them to retake, more than likely. Scott Cat Manifesto here against the wall next to Captain Reynolds, Old Boy Pancake Man, Zachary Moe, and Baby Teeth moving in. We also have a number of German defenders who are moving up. Private Cleve, Private Salinas, Warrant Officer 3 Mendoza, and SBC Point Blank moving up. Alright, Pie Slicer as well is moving forward along with...
And near Charlie.
I couldn't tell who that was. I guess he died too quickly. That's kind of the way it is on the Eastern Front, though, you know? You try and learn somebody's name and they're dead before you can actually learn it. And it seems that Axis are indeed attacking Alpha again, but it might not matter. Oh no, it does matter because they have stopped securing Bravo. If Bloodbath cannot keep a hold of Alpha and then secure Bravo, this could turn into the favor of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. And the Allies are attacking Bravo again, though it seems to swing over there and actually look at the main meat of the battle now, as Zachary Moe and Captain Reynolds are joining us in the charge over towards that objective. Gandalf the Grey defending the main bottom floor of the building alongside 1st Sergeant Bunch and Sergeant Saunders, along with Private First Class Lesnitsky. Old Boy and Hekamiya running forward in the smoke alongside Stalker, Admiral Akbar, and Baby Teeth and Whiskey Jack. Lonely Rose pushing forward as well into Bravo, but it doesn't matter because the B objective is secured. Moving on to C, Charlie, and Delta. Bloodbath successfully making it past the first 2 objectives with relatively little effort. Well, at least they make it seem like relatively little effort. The veterancy of the Bloodbath regulars showing here, definitely able to surpass even the very highly coordinated skill and tactics of the 2nd Ranger Battalion, as PFC Croonin and PFC Stewart providing some firing support for their brothers in arms, taking out some of the Bloodbath members, such as Scott Cat Manifesto, but a lot of Bloodbath members are going to come forward through this smoke. They're going to run into that green building next to C. Croonin is on his own. He's taken out by Lag Fairy, who's injured, going to have to heal himself. C is being damaged, or being secured rather slowly but steadily by Bloodbath.
Up and over, fellas, this wall's clear.
Delta itself is not going to be taken so easily, it seems. Risky Click and a number of other Bloodbath attackers are nearby, but they're being pushed back by the 2nd Ranger Battalion defenders. Captain Wentz behind a wall opposite side of Risky Click, not noticing one another. Oh! Captain Wentz, I believe it was, got shot in the face and died as Risky Click moves forward, takes out PFC Upham. Natty Frank as well on that rock wall. Private Salinas gonna get shot in the butt by Risky Click. Alright. Private Pence is defending as well. The TL for the 2nd Ranger Battalion getting shot, unfortunately. Private Upham moving forward, taking through the supplies from that boy's dead body. Moving forward as well next to Captain Wentz. Gonna put up a defense on Delta, but he gets downed as well. Ouch. Let's see here. They've actually secured. Bloodbath has taken, yes, it seems, Charlie. It's now a lone Delta that the 2nd Ranger Battalion is defending. And it seems a lot of the defenders are moving back into position. We have a number of them behind this wall here, Second Lobo and Predator. Pie Slicer sitting up there. I believe he's the defender. Yes, he is, watching for any advancing Bloodbath soldiers. as we have Brown Cardboard Box and Ska Cat Manifesto all the way back by, I believe it was Charlie. Not necessarily moving towards Delta, but just securing that side of the map and holding it against any reinforcing defenders. As Takam moves forward alongside Natty Frank, or possibly in the Natty Frank, Takam moving towards this pile of downed trees, providing a makeshift fortification. Possibly lagging or being shot, moving just slowly, I don't know. He seems to be a little strange in terms of his movement. Maybe a glitch there. As UCANC moves forward towards the Delta building, but gets shot! Oh, ouch! Gets knocked down by PFC Robbins with his machine gun fire from I do not know where, but it was in line of sight of that particular location, as a large portion of the Fallschirmjägers, I keep mistaking these guys for the 2nd Fallschirm, I'm sorry, as the 2nd Ranger Battalion moves forward back into position. Private Pence getting knocked out by Das Sikorsky over on the left-hand flank. Oh, far left flank! Captain Reynolds, Das Sikorsky, Lonely Rose, and Salt Team 6 moving forward to try and get a far left flank on the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Private Dust moving forward to try and take these guys out, cooking a grenade, chucking it up at Das, killing him, but he gets killed himself. All three of the attackers over here are down, and it seems that this attack from Bloodbath is going to be stunted for the moment. SEAL Team 6 and Zachary Moe, the only ones left over here on this side, but Bloodbath is going to call artillery down top of the rear defenses near that building where a lot of defenders might be stacked up in the future. It will definitely defend or hinder their attack. Alright.
You know you can go to mailbox, right?
BFC Werner is defending the top floor with his machine gun, and they have a number of other men inside the D building right now. Bloodbath is still providing some heavy, just withering fire down on top of those defenses, but unfortunately they are... Oh, never mind, they are actually able to go in there and take it. So where is that offensive coming from? Coming from the left, back towards Charlie, where the other members of Bloodbath were located. They are moving in now into that bottom floor. Ska Cat Manifesto, the Lag Fairy, and Dr. Von Sock moving into the bottom of that building, slowly making their way up, killing any Germans they find on the stairwell or on these subsequent floors they run into. Lieutenant Gary getting killed by UCANC as they pass each other on the stairwell, also taking out First Sergeant Bunch, but getting taken out by OG Matt, I believe, as Private Pence calls down a covering artillery on that building as the team that he is commanding retreats back to the opposite side of Echo to set up their defense. Seems the remaining soldiers are holding their ground for now, trying to take out any Russians, excuse me, I almost said Germans. They're going to try and push in towards the objective, as the Bloodbath forces are currently being stalled or stopped either by their commanders or by the fire from the 2nd Ranger Battalion. It seems there's still a number of defenders, of German defenders, up in the top of this building. They have secured that back again, or they have taken that back, getting some shots off. Oh, never mind, maybe. Brown Cardboard Box taking out Private Litsininsky. That left foundry over there, that left generator house, actually, maybe, that red one, is going to be where Bloodbath is making most of their fire from, or taking most of their fire from. They're sending him out and across the river, it seems, taking a far left flanking approach to this objective. Kentucky Legend and Mr. Death, along with Das Sikorsky, moving across that frozen river. Natty Frank as well, taking a pause by the rocks, or by the rock wall, to watch. Captain Reynolds and Stalker are also going to be spawning in their troops over here, along with Whiskey Jack and 86 Rich. Don't see any squad leaders directly, but I know there's one over here, and Ska Cat Manifesto is sitting over here as well. A lot of Ushankas here, on top of Russian heads, as we have a number of attackers making their way over towards the enemy defenses, or at least putting fire down over there. The river seems to have been crossed by at least one attacker, Smoked Prophet over here with his marksman's rifle, taking out a number of defenders that are in very key, potentially very key defensive points over by Echo. As we see here, there are a number of defenders on all sides of this objective, having been pushed back across the river and taking up more traditional defensive positions along this side of the objective.
Germans on the bridge.
Alright. And we have, it seems, the only real place that Bloodbath is at the moment attacking is on that far left flank. They've been stopped in the center, or at least aren't attempting to attack in the center, and the left flank is being ignored for the moment by them. They even have a German defender over on the left flank as well, Private Dust, from the 2nd Ranger Battalion. I believe with a machine gun, yes. He is currently providing some overwatch and some fire on those advancing Russians.
On the close side of the bridge.
A lot of Russians now, it seems, a lot of Bloodbath's fighters actually sitting on the flank or bottom of that bridge. We might see an assault on the center of the bridge very soon here, though that might depend on how well they can do in taking out those flanking machine gunners. Though it seems they have managed to take out the majority, if not all, of the defenders inside this tower, or they are attempting to do so now at least, and yes, it seems they have. The Russians have secured this tower from the Germans, and they're going to use that probably to their advantage very, very soon. Now we see Gandalf the Grey and Warren Officer Mendoza moving forward along with OG Matt and Vaudeville Villain to get into defensive positions over on the back here. Gandalf the Grey, of course, working as their AT gunner still. The Russian tank, actually, I don't believe there was one, so I don't know why I said that, but not making an appearance, because it is not on this map. As Soso moves onto the left flank, unfortunately getting shot by First Sergeant Bunch, gunned down long range by a G43, no, G41, excuse me. I misspoke. As we have a further push up by the attackers in the front, it seems. Mr. Death and Lagford making the break for it. Lagford getting gunned down, but a number of defenders as well. The Russian fire from their rifles is definitely doing some work. Lonely Rose and a number of the other more veteran soldiers showing their marksmanship skills as Mr. Death throws a satchel charge on top of that burning car, putting any defenders in the immediate vicinity in very, very real danger as Captain Wentz and Cash and Sergeant Saunders move forward to the other side of this wall as Takum, gets stabbed by Baby Teeth on a rush towards the other side of that bridge, and point blank as well gets gunned down by Baby as he moves forward to try and reinforce those defensive positions. Mr. Death getting shot by OG Matt as another satchel charge is sitting here by Captain Wentz if he doesn't move. Oh, but it doesn't matter, he's dead! And Baby Teeth gets gunned down by Private Selenas. And that such a charge goes on, seemingly not killing anybody, but doing a lot of smoke damage and some damage to that very nice cobble road. As we look here, allies have captured Echo. All right, they secured the objective, getting the majority of troopers in here, or in there, into the zone, as they push forward now against the enemy. You can see me bleeding out on the ground there, putting some fire down still as Cash and Point Blank get some shots off towards the enemy still on their defense, as there's the Russian tank. I was mistaken.
Yeah, nobody there.
I am not aware of what's going on in terms of the armor on this map. I apologize. So yes, the Russians do have a tank. It's hanging back and providing some supporting fire. As for Trouble is doing a very nice job with his attacking, I guess, mobile artillery fire. Speaking of artillery, Soso called some in, and the allies have already captured F. The bridgehead has been secured, so they're going to move on now to G, to Golf, as Pie Slicer and Private Lisinski and PFC Werner set up to try and defend against some of the squad, or some of the advancing squads from the Russians. OG Matt and PFC Stewart are advancing as well, along with Zachary Moe, Stalker, and Brown Cardboard Box. Skycat Manifesto and Baby Teeth are moving forward as well. We also have Admiral Akbar and Lonely Rose getting caught by Captain Wentz. One of them getting hit, Lonely Rose, not going down, it seems. Only wounded as Private Selenas and PFC Upham move forward and take out Brown Cardboard Box. Definitely putting a stop to the attack for the Bloodbath troopers, but not fully, as there are still a lot of Bloodbath soldiers that are advancing up against those walls, though a number of them are being cut down. Private Dust and Private Ryan doing wonderful work with those machine guns, gunning down a number of the advancing Bloodbath soldiers, making an absolute kill zone in that central courtyard. They're going to have to cross to get to those objectives. Good shot from Private Ryan here, just unloading into that smoke, not letting Bloodbath use that to their advantage. Unfortunately, getting a team kill against Captain Wentz, but provide that kind of supporting fire, that's what you need. Alright. Gulf here is being secured still by Private Selenas, PFC Upham, and Scotty Soft, along with Predator 922 as the Bloodbath forces continue to push forward, seemingly using the left side of the bridge as the preferred side, at least for this wave. Brown Cardboard Box, Lonely Rose, Baby Teeth, and Admiral Akbar are moving forward as a group. Nice little unit there, crossing to the other side, except for Brown Cardboard Box, moving on his own towards this building. Let's follow him for the moment. Gonna stop by the wall and wait, it seems, possibly seeing if there's any defenders nearby or for some more people defending. Fast Johnny and Skycat Manifesto are up in the building here. It seems they've secured that as more artillery from Private Pence comes raining down on the front of that bridge. The allies are now inside G and securing it. Let's go in there and see if we can get a bit of a sight on what's actually going on for them. We have PFC Upham watching the doorway here. We also have nobody else. Seems he's the only one actually defending. Now he's going to need some reinforcements very, very soon, or else he's going to get absolutely dominated by the oncoming force of attackers from Bloodbath. Mostly, it seems, on the left side. Maybe? No, there's only one person there. It seems the Bloodbath force has been eliminated for the moment. Old Boy, though, getting close in that window. Possibly getting a few shots off. 2nd Ranger Battalion is definitely holding on to this position for now. Tickets are 294 for the 2nd Ranger Battalion and 342 for the Allies for Bloodbath. So that is the state of things in terms of reinforcement power. 2nd Ranger Battalion is reinforcing in this position right here. They're going to be securing this building with some more troopers and moving in to prevent them, prevent Bloodbath hopefully from taking that place. And oh, that artillery is very effective still, blowing up the Bloodbath attackers that were in the river and trying to go and assault that building. It seems, however, that Bloodbath is still holding on to the buildings on the right side of the objective and putting some fire downrange, but the 2nd Ranger Battalion are still putting... Oh, never mind! The gunner that was on this machine gun just got headshot, knocked off his post. That is not going to be very good for the 2nd Ranger Battalion. That was a very, very key part of their defense. Hopefully they can get someone back on that very soon. But they do have a lot of forces moving into this G building again, trying to protect against any Bloodbath incursions. We'll see if anyone is actually ready to go and attack yet. No, there's not, but they are pouring fire in from this back red factory building as the enemy, or as the Bloodbath tank is providing fire as well from its main gun and its secondaries, as Burger moves up to the wall on this bridge. Seems that Golf is providing them with some problems. They haven't been taking this as easily, as Baby Admiral Akbar and Lonely Rose moving to try and assault this building once again, with Whiskey Click up front watching the street. Move out here to this side road with Sergeant Lobo and the rest of the defenders. Seems they've taken a lot of the right side on their defense, but Pancake and Das Sikorsky, along with Kentucky Legend, flanking hard right again, trying to get some edge on the defenders, but the number of the 2nd Ranger Battalion forces out there still watching that part of the map. Seems a large number of the Bloodbath players are out here trying to get a good push on the side of the enemy defenses, but they could be stopped. There's a machine gun right here from Corporal Stone, and a grenade as well from Ska. Oh no, team kill! Just killed half of his attacking force there. That could spell the end for that push, as Salt Team 6 and Ska are the only ones left aside from Pancake Man and Das. Ska gets gunned down and so does Salt Team 6, but that defender gets blown up by Pancake Man. Corporal Stone was his name, as the Bloodbath forces advance further forward. As Das Sikorsky spawns in more of that squad, so that's going to be another full squad spawn for Bloodbath, pushing into the left-hand side of the actual defenses. As Golf is also captured, and they're going to move in right against Hotel, and I don't know what the actual I word is in the phonetic alphabet, so I apologize for that. So yeah, they're moving in against I now, is what Bloodbath is doing. So it's a mixture of a frontal assault on I and a flank attack on Hotel. It seems that the flank attack is being stopped for now, as the 2nd Ranger Battalion have engaged them, and the left-hand full frontal attack is doing a little bit better, as Soso leads the charge along with Baby Teeth and Smoked Prophet into Objective I, as we have Scotty Soft defending here primarily. India is I. Alright, thank you, Hatsi. India. India is being assaulted by Gunny Motard, Kentucky Legend, and Stalker, along with Hekami on the far left. Baby Teeth, as well, is in need of ammo. It seems they're going to overrun the defenders on India. Not many defenders available, it seems, and let's see how H is doing. Hotel is actually fairly well secured by the defenders. Gandalf the Grey and 2nd Lieutenant Ashen are moving forward along with Private Cleve. Mr. Death and Skakat, only one of the few attackers remaining. Mr. Death having been killed there, along with the Pancake Man. Salt Team 6 and Das Sikorsky. Oh, damn, my my laptop has to restart, so I can't see chat, unfortunately. So I apologize if I'm not going to be able to read any of your stuff. But yes, this right flank is going to be attacked. The Hotel is going to be attacked pretty easily, and it's going to be secured, possibly. Or no. Defended pretty easily, and it's going to have a hard... The Bloodbath's going to have a hard time securing it, as PFC Litsnitsky, PFC Redhawk, and Captain Wentz move up to help reinforce PFC Upham, as Pancake Man and Captain Reynolds move in to try and attack. Sergeant Lobo and Private Pence, along with 2nd Lieutenant Ashen, are defending the main central line as the Bloodbath tank moves up. The T-34 moving in to try and provide some supporting fire. Shot going out, not actually killing anything, but providing some psychological damage for sure, as Soso calls in more artillery on H. We'll see how 2nd Ranger Battalion can actually hold off against this. Those brave boys are going to have some serious balls, or brass balls, to not get affected by this level of carnage. As Soso's artillery comes in and starts to wipe out some of the defenders. But Scotty Soft, with the satchel charge, blows up the Bloodbath tank. So the Bloodbath tank is actually wiped out now, removed from battle. Soso also calling in his own artillery still, killing some of the defenders. Oh, this is crazy. This is intense still. 171 tickets for the Ranger Battalion, Second Ranger Battalion, and 212 for the Bloodbath forces. It's still down to the wire. We have a number of attackers and defenders here still in H, a lot of which are up front, but it seems like a Bloodbath is going to be pushing into the cap zone now. Apparently my laptop can't find its boot device. I don't know why. So I apologize for that. I can't actually see chat right now. But yes. It seems that H is still being defended very well. They are not actually able to, or Bloodbath is not able to take it even with that artillery coming in, but they are still putting pressure on it. A large number of Bloodbath forces are in the center of the attack zone, center and left, all around the front line, really. And it seems the tickets are going down to the, or coming close again, 146 to 190. It's getting closer and closer with each point we get to. H is now being attacked and secured, and it's going to be fully secured here in a moment, and yes, there we go, allies have taken H. Alright.
A lot of them running
Put on a J and K now, the last few points before that big town square you have to deal with over on the far side, the very far end of the map. As K and J are being moved to defend, or have the defenders moving in to try and protect them. J being the most heavily defended at the moment. Brown cardboard box, Fast Johnny and Burger are going to move it up there on the front line, so near Scotty Soft as a defender. Scotty Soft taking a satchel charge, try and blow up the enemy.
I have a satchel.
Did not throw it quite far enough, but if anyone moves up, that could definitely do some damage to him. As we have over here on the left, PFC Werner, PFC Redhawk, and Lieutenant Gary, along with Private Pence, moving forward to try and defend J, and rather effectively so far at that. Gandalf the Grey also moving up to try and protect the objective. A lot of kills for the Germans coming in against Bloodbath. Definitely wearing on their tickets, but Bloodbath is also doing a lot of damage to the Germans as well. Down to 108 tickets. They have a 50-ticket lead about still. We have 5 seconds less than that till the next respawn wave, which could wind up decimating the enemy.
Yeah, try and move with the tank, guys.
PFC Baranol is going to be protecting this fence along with Lieutenant Gary, and the forest as well is being protected fairly well by the 2nd Ranger Battalion. They seem to be anticipating another flank from Bloodbath, which is probably the right thing to do considering that's what they've done very frequently and commonly. But they have a large frontal assault coming up from Burger and Zachary Moe and a lot of other members of Bloodbath pushing forward. It's going to be very close quarters fighting now between a number of the defenders. Scottcat Manifesto and Risky Click getting pushing up further forward, but Risky Click is, Risky Click is down. Scottcat is the only one left alive of that initial wave, it seems, or just about. And if you'll excuse me for a moment, I'm going to log on to my laptop and hop back in chat, so I can actually see what's going on in the discussion. Dang it, I know my password. Go away.
One on the
barricade, crying out loud. Anyways, as you can see, the fighting is still going on, and it's quite intense, as PFC Up and PFC Robins are holding onto their defensive positions quite well.
Okay,
Cash and Oracle are also there, holding off the attacking Russians. Objective K, Kilo, I believe is what it is, has not really been touched so far. Old Boy and Count Des Moines, along with First Sergeant Bunch, are right next to each other, trying to defend and attack those positions respectively. Fast Johnny inside this building right here. Tickets are still going down even lower, 69 for the Axis and 110 for Bloodbath. Ranger Battalion going to have to start counting the tickets, same for Bloodbath, as it gets closer and closer to that 0 marker. Objective Juliet now being pressured again by Bloodbath as they make another charge up the front. Smoke Prophet and Baby Teeth and Scottcat Manifesto leading the charge, and Juliet is now being taken by the Allies as they have the numbers supremacy. The Lag Ferry also moving forward to try and engage with the enemy in Juliet. It seems the defenders have run out of men to send in their private or PFC Croonin and Scotty Soft defending primarily, it seems, with the majority of the other defenders over by Kilo now.
We don't have is the fucking tickets. Play safe.
And if I can get back in here, we'll find out who that man was who just ran in here, but he seems to have... Oh no, he's not dead. It's oh, that's so sad. But there was a German in here, but he probably died already. Unfortunately, but that's the way sometimes things go, as Juliet seems to have been taken by the Red Army. by Bloodbath, now attacking Kilo. It seems they're going to probably try to do a flank attack from Juliet towards Kilo. They have 54 tickets left on the side of the 2nd Ranger Battalion and 90, now 87 for Bloodbath.
Also good reference.
And it's going to be coming very close here. 2nd Ranger Battalion still moving forces up, getting a good defensive number of defenders in, sending their machine guns up to try and provide some fire against the people who are trying to attack Kilo. That good smoke is, or that smoke is providing some good cover for the attackers as they are moving forward, but it's not going to stop bullets, only eyesight. Alright. As Ojimat is still in the building over here, I believe, with a number of attackers as well. Also can see chat again, so hi.
Protect that thing from
And Warrant Officer 3 Mendoza, oh, getting blown up by the tank, asked for trouble, knocking a shot right into the upper window of that little building there. Getting blown around, getting decimated, decimating some of the defenders inside that building, as Scotty Soft, it seems, blew up somebody with an anti-tank grenade, and Brown Cardboard Box killed Scotty Soft with another anti-tank grenade. Alrighty. Artillery incoming on top of Kilo at 42, or no, excuse me, another wave of artillery coming in. Lonely Rose right next to it, might want to move unless they want to get blown up. 34 tickets left on the 2nd Ranger Battalion side and 70 on Bloodbath. 2nd Ranger Battalion should try and probably fall back to those last few objectives in the courtyard, try and bleed out Bloodbath tickets even more if they want to have a chance of winning this. Otherwise, they're likely going to lose on tickets. We'll have to see, though. Lonely Rose in the rear of the defensive positions, having secured this part of the building for Bloodbath, with the rest of the 2nd Ranger Battalion having staying strong in this courtyard back here as they spawn in on their SLs. And 19 tickets, 64 left for Bloodbath as well, as Ask for Trouble takes out Private Pence and Cash with a shot down the road. And it seems that it's going to come down to 0 tickets for 2nd Ranger Battalion as they get to 15. To Bloodbath's 61. A number of the 2nd Ranger Battalion's men are back in this rear building trying to provide some overwatch against Bloodbath as they advance forward, but it might not be enough because they are down to 11 tickets now. As we see PSU and LCC holding that courtyard very effectively next to Sergeant Saunders, as the rest of the Bloodbath team moves forward as best they can. Kentucky Legend, Whiskey Jack, and 86 Rich next to Dr. Von Sock and Smoke Prophet moving forward with the other defenders, or the other attackers, but Voon is holding them off from that window. Mr. Death moves forward to try and get a better shot at those defenders, but might get taken down himself. Took a shot at somebody, but didn't kill them in the kill feed. Oh, he gets taken out by Voon as well. Gets shot in the back. That window is deadly, and Kentucky Legend goes down as well. Voon doing a very good job of holding that building. And oh, there we go. That's a satchel charge. That took out Fast Johnny. A number of satchel charges, I think. All right. 6 tickets left for the 2nd Ranger Battalion, 48 left for the Allies, or for Bloodbath, as they move forward. Voon going out and about, going on a Rambo spree right now. Absolutely annihilating a number of the Bloodbath forces before he's finally taken out, as Bloodbath seems to be halting, stalling almost, a bit worried to enter that building because of the carnage that was inflicted upon them by the defenders, as they now push forward and engage with the enemy. Baby Teeth missing a number of shots there, presumably from hip fire against OG Matt, as he sits there healing, as they are now going to take Kilo, and as the 2nd Ranger Battalion is reduced to 0 tickets. And they have captured Kilo. Now it's Lima and, I believe, Mike that are going to be attacked, as allies are attacking Lima. Bloodbath is already attacking the school building, securing it rather quickly, as they already have men inside. I believe, let's check here and see, 2nd Ranger Battalion, yes, is falling back to the very last buildings. They're going to stay at the very rear by these courtyards and try and play the ticket game with Bloodbath. Bleed them out and bleed them dry. Prevent them from winning this victory. But it'll come very, very close. It'll come down to the wire, I believe, as Bloodbath still has their tank. And unless that tank is destroyed, it's going to be a very powerful tool for them to use. Alright, Lima is secured, and now it's Mike that has to be taken as an objective. We have Takum here watching against, or watching for any Bloodbath incursions. He's already firing at somebody as Corporal Stone kills Kentucky Legend. And one other force that one of the men that I did not see. Private Pence and Private Cleve killing a number of other people. I think they're killing them over here by this right flank, as that's where a lot of the Bloodbath forces are. It seems that they are firing at somebody, so yes, I believe they're actually in this building. Takum killed Mr. Death, it seems, back by that hill, or back by that street. That's Lieutenant Ashen and PFC Letsnitsky are getting kills as well against other team members on the Bloodbath team, and it seems Bloodbath is down to 9 tickets left. They only have 9 tickets. This will become a ticket game, it seems. If Bloodbath could not kill the majority of the second Ranger Battalion players, then they will have to deal with a siege of the last objective with very few, if not 0, reinforcements.
That's no excuse to play stupid.
And it seems like they're going to capture... They might move on Mike and start capturing it now. I don't see very many defenders for the 2nd Ranger Battalion defending those buildings ahead. We have Private Cleve here on the 2nd floor of this bombed-out building. I don't know if there's anyone else nearby. I don't believe there is. He might just be on his lonesome. Down to 4 tickets now for Bloodbath. Oh! PFC Letsnitsky accidentally team-killed Sergeant Lobo! Oh, it's even worse on 0 tickets. Oh, no, that's not good for 2nd Ranger Battalion. Alright. And Gunny Motard and Mr. Death moving towards M, and captured Mike. Bloodbath has captured Mike. Now it's N, the infamous courtyard, and their tickets are gone. It's a ticket game, everybody. 0 to 0 tickets, and the lockdown counter has started. We are on maximum high alert. It is maximum tenseness right now. PFC Robbins is set up in the window on the Maxim gun, waiting for anyone to come in. There's Blood Malice out there in a small building, as PFC Pence, the TL, sits by the artillery, or by the radio, waiting to call in artillery on at a moment's notice, as Bloodbath gets ready to make their final push towards the last objective. Whiskey Jack moving forward as we see Bloodbath moving towards, I don't know what N is. I don't know if it's Niagara? Nila? I don't know. Notch? I'm not sure. Some tacos moving forward as well into the side building. Let's see if he gets down. He's going to get up towards the window, going to chuck a grenade, probably. Yes, he is. Is it going to do anything? It might get Private Dust. He's going to have to move. No, it does not. Private Dust does retreat into a side room, though, and runs away from those explosive ordnances. He's going to sit down and make himself a new spot by this doorway, so he can retreat even easier. Oh, and there goes the tank! The Bloodbath tank is down! The Bloodbath's tank is down! Bloodbath's biggest advantage has been wiped off the map. Bloodbath no longer has their T-34. They're going to have to worry about fighting street to street with less than 1 minute and 33 seconds left. Oh, and Gunny Motard is firing his DP, or his DP-28 at a perceived defender. This is going to come down very close as Soso calls in artillery right on the center of N, the last objective. It's going to be very, very close match as we get down to the 1 minute mark for a lockdown. If Bloodbath does not take this objective in 1 minute, they will officially have lost their last push against the 2nd Ranger Battalion. But even if that's the case, I believe they still win because they have less than 75 tickets. As we see here, it's less than a minute and artillery is raining down. Blood Malice killed Admiral Akbar. Lonely Rose just gunned down Blood Malice, though, in a close quarters fight inside of a building. Natty Frank moving in as well to support Lonely Rose. 40 seconds left in the match. Can they take the last objective? They are moving in to take it. They might secure it, as that Maxim up there is going to start probably trying to pick off targets that it sees. 30 seconds left. We have some members of Bloodbath up at the very, very front of the objective. Cardboard Box and Whiskey Jack attempting to take N from the 2nd Ranger Battalion. Robbins has taken down Natty Frank. Natty Frank is down. Baby Teeth is also suppressed. Lonely Rose is going to get targeted as well, probably. Gunny Motard is taking out PFC Robbins. Does that mean that the Maxim is down? The Maxim is down! Maxim is disabled. 8 seconds left, down to 5 seconds. Bloodbath is going to rush into that cap zone and very likely secure the victory on the last minute of the match. We're in overtime, ladies and gentlemen, and I think it's safe to say that Bloodbath has won the day. So there you go, boys and girls. There you go. The match has been won for Bloodbath, and the campaign is now over. They have secured the victory. We're not And coming in from the leader of the Bloodbath team, the 2nd Rangers has informed Bloodbath they have announced the unconditional surrender of the German 6th Army. The match and the Battle of the Volga is over. Congratulations, everybody. And thank you all for joining me. And now, let's see. I believe that is going to likely be it for the event. I don't know if they have anything... Oh, no, don't go away, don't go away. We have Candyland. I almost forgot, Candyland is here. So we have a Candyland match. I forgot about this. We have Candyland afterwards. So yeah, Bloodbath has won, and the Second Rangers have lost, even though they fought very well. But now we're going to fight on Candyland, and have a war for who owns Gumdrop Forest, Sugar Lane, and Rainbow Bridge. This is quite possibly the bloodiest and most intense map in all of Red Orchestra, and you would not believe the kind of battles that you can see here. That Powdered Sugar Snow Hill has seen a lot of blood stain that sugar red, and that Cupcake Hill has more than once been topped with the bodies of German and Russian soldiers. That Rainbow Bridge as well. There's been more red on that bridge than any other color of the rainbow than I can remember. And these tiles, well, just give it a few days, give it a few minutes and they won't be multicolored anymore. Lollipops actually look pretty good on this map, I just realized. Whoever made this did a really good job. I didn't, you know, putting these assets in this game is actually would probably take a decent amount of time to at least make them. So props to whoever made this. All right. Yeah, exactly. A single open wound exposes you to 3 kinds of diabetes. And yes, Nachos, it is Candyland. There is legitimately a Candyland in map in Red Orchestra 2. Great casting. Thank you very much. I tried my best. It was my very first time doing it, and I got a stuffy nose partway through, in case you couldn't tell. It was interesting. Also, here we go. Matches starting. We have the Russians over here on the right, starting out against the Germans with A, B, and C objectives. Moving out. This is likely going to not be much for a commentary I can do. Oh God, Lonely Rose! Oh, holy shit! Oh, wow. Alright, so obviously this isn't being taken as seriously as the other matches, but yeah, we just wanted to have a little bit of fun afterwards. 2nd Ranger Battalion's already taken the hill, and they're going to rain fire down upon the Russians spawning in. It's going to be a nightmare. So, yeah.
Drop mountain, don't let them get it.
Oh, God. Can't believe I wasn't able to finish the event. Why weren't you able to finish, Brew? What happened? This is actually what Hitler wanted all along. He just wanted his Candyland, man. Alright, we have an attacker going on the upper level as Lonely Rose and a number of other Russians move up to try and attack the defensive position the 2nd Ranger Battalion have set up on top of Cupcake Hill. But they are not able to do it, it seems. The machine gun fire and automatic weapons fire from the Ranger Battalion are pushing them back. But Bloodbath, through sheer force of numbers, as their Russian heritage dictates, is winning the battle. It's coming down to a fight in the Powdered Sugar Pass right now, as Old Boy and a number of other forces and fighters are killed by grenades, guns, explosives, all sorts of things, and it looks like someone's shifted themselves inside this giant cupcake, or at least they phased inside of it for a moment. And it seems Bloodbath has taken control of the upper portion of Cupcake Hill. Zachary Moe and Risky Click, along with Baby Teeth, are securing the upper portion. But they are being challenged very quickly here. It's going to be a complete bloodbath. Haha, nice plug. For the upper C objective. They still have not captured Bravo. Bravo is not secured by the German team. It has not been taken. It seems the Russians will actually be taking Bravo as well. As we see here, it seems that it is a total domination-style map where you have to capture every single objective to succeed. And now, since they're going to be taking Bravo, more than likely they might actually wind up winning if they take C, if they take Charlie. But it's going to be very, very close. Bloodbath still has control of Cupcake Mountain, but the Powdered Sugar Pass is still a very, very dangerous zone. Bodies flying everywhere. Rainbow Bridge is not seeing as much action as one would expect. Also, you are able to go through the I guess this is, I don't know, a taffy lake? I'm not sure what this is. But yes, also this is what it looks like underwater. It's full LSD. It's crazy. But yes, Bravo is still not secured, and the Germans are maintaining fire, raining down upon the Russians. Alright. I apologize, I'll have to be right back, but I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy this bird's eye view of the battle while I am off using the restroom. So yeah, hope you all enjoy, hope you enjoyed my casting, I certainly appreciated all of you being here, and I hope you enjoyed the event as well. Have a good one, for the moment.
I'm sorry. Why isn't this on rotation? We need rockets now.
I got already bought.
And then rockets.
Flee to the lake of chocolate, save yourselves! So this is the horror of war! It's so horrible.
We're just kids, man.
We can't hold candy cane forest.
We have won the battle for the motherland!
Alrighty.
Thanks, Bloodbath.